Hello, welcome to the Homeboys Late Podcast. It is Friday, the 19th of September. I'm, of course, Joe McKenna. We are back for a ramshackle operation. Talk all things Celtic FC. Although, at this point, I think might be a rebranding of Slush Fund FC. If we're joined by 77 million reasons to sack the board. Marty Flynn.
What's happening, bro?
Oh, good, my man. You keeping good?
Loving life. Beer in front of me. Belly full of pizza.
This is what the Homeboys is all about. It's all about comfort, being at home, getting the drink out, having a bit of crack. Also joined by Jason Higgins out there on Wishaw. What's happening?
How you doing, boys?
Hail. It's good. Hail. And King of the Stats, Scotland out there in Canvas Lang. The go-kart capital of Scotland.
Technically untrue. Clydebank was out for a long while. I don't actually know if Clydebank's still there. But
They do.
as always,
They still have it.
fuck the system. I like to get that wee swear word in quick enough.
Mm-hmm.
I now understand that the swear word can demonetize you. That's why people don't do it rather than getting blocked. Remember I said I watched a load of shows and they were going, oh, you can't swear in the first couple of minutes. Well, it seems if you swear in the first couple of minutes, it kind of demonetizes you.
Is that not some...
Does that mean we need to pay more money every year for that?
We're in debt. We're in debt to YouTube.
Every time we swear about you're out of funds.
Oh,
what was that? Remember Demolition Man? John Spartan, you owe 50 credits. That's what I get.
That's right.
Could you imagine anyway, could you imagine the size of our swear jar? It would be like 77 million quid with a fucking
sitting there untouched.
I just phone Dermot up, right?
That's some late stage capitalism shit, isn't it? Though, don't fucking say anything wrong, or you're gonna get losing money. Or what?
Yeah, according to America, you can say what you fucking want now.
Right. As Ace-T always said, it's freedom of speech, but just watch what you say.
Yeah. Anyway, what's happening, man?
There's a lot going on in the Celtic sphere. A lot going on. We had a list, but that list is probably fucking changed now by the time we came on air. After there's been financial exposure in terms of the Celtic finances. Where do we want to start this? We just start with some football. Go back to the game. We just keep it good.
Yeah, let's go to Command.
Right, I was saying, who was there? Speak to you first. Both of you there?
Aye.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's flip a coin here and see who's going to go first, because we want to get a first, boots on the ground kind of information as about how things went. Because like on TV, you only see on TV, and it's always a very different fucking perspective.
Yeah, I'll do the first 12 minutes, and Scott can do the next fucking 7.
Nino.
Right. So, Jason, take it away, mate.
Aye, good wee day. So I'd been off work for 2 weeks. It was my first day back on Monday. Fucking disaster. Our bus left at 10 in the morning into Irvine CSC. So a couple of pints in the tavern before we left. Then a couple of cans in the bus. And then hell knows how many pints. That Irvine CSC's class, by the way, if anybody's not been there. See a 4 again at Kilmarnock, get your bus booked in it. Big, massive social club. Beautiful inside. And I think 2 pints of Guinness was something like £6.70.
Winner.
Aye, well, beautiful. But aye, so we had a great wee day in there, and then the bus headed up. And I did the day the full consensus on the bus, but 99% of the bus didn't go in until after the 12 minutes. Some didn't get in at all. Do you know what I mean? After the session in there, they just went to the pub. But aye, so I met Scott outside as I was waiting for Liam coming with his ticket. Met Jeanette and Eddie, met a load of the boys outside. So it was all kind of very good natured, and everybody just went in the turnstile, and there was enough room. I didn't think there'd be enough room, but there was enough room for everybody. And it was busy enough down the bottom. It was mobbed, in fact. Everybody standing in the stairwells, etc. But it was all good natured. And I must have got in just on like the kickoff. So I didn't really see MD going in as such. So I didn't know if there was any hassle, but I don't think there was. And I think MD that went in was treated with respect and all that was up to themselves. But after seeing the pictures, I don't know, maybe it looked like that 75% stayed outside. I don't know. You maybe know better if you're watching the TV. But there was a fair enough crowd in, but the vast majority, I would say, stood outside. So, as I say, we were all just standing outside looking for somebody with a phone that the game on it. And then that was it. We all just filed in. And gets in. And then it was a bit of a shit performance again, wasn't it, really? Obviously, the park's terrible, but no good watching Celtic at the minute. Great goal with Maeda. And what I would say is obviously everybody, Sebastian Tunecki looks class. He looks absolutely brilliant. But Balikwisha, Jesus, he doesn't look good at all. But and the kind of we went 1-0 up, and 1-0 up, and it's obviously half time. It was 0-0. It was just kind of dirge. Wasn't much with a couple of chances with maybe the penalty. We were up there with each other, handball or whatever. But you see it again, could have been given, wasn't given. And then he scores a great goal with Maeda. And I love the way Maeda celebrated, you know what I mean? That gives you confidence because he doesn't seem the type that's going to down tools, and I'm pretty sure he won't. So saw it in the open now, he's looking to go, but I think he gives it his all, and he scored an absolute peach of a goal. And then after that, we did maybe 15, 20 minutes, where I thought we played some really good stuff, especially down the left wing, and it was looking pretty promising. And then it kind of fell away, and then he goes up and gets their goal for the cross, and just for the corner, and just we don't have big players, and it just seemed so easy for them to score. And then I just didn't see a way back for us, and then obviously he gets the penalty at the end. And I thought it was a penalty. When I seen it again, everybody in my granny says it isn't, and says it was a ridiculous decision. See, when you look at it again, the ball could have been getting into the net. I know the initial shot was, but see when it took the deflection, it still could have been getting in. I don't know if it was or no, but I wouldn't say it was going miles by. When you watch it again, I don't usually maybe have seen it again, but I'm not entirely sure it wasn't going towards the net. And obviously the guy doesn't really mean it. But the one thing I would say is I was standing next to three guys I didn't know. And I noticed one, I don't know if you noticed it, Scott, but one of the Kilmarnock defenders put his head in his hands after it happened. And I said to him, I says, we got to speak a penalty here. He's like, nah, he's gave a corner. I says, that boy there, the way he was looking. And then sure enough, Beaton went to the monitor and gave us a penalty and place erupted at the end. Great way to win, you're walking out the game delighted, but there's always a wee bit hanging back to say, no very good, but you'll take it. You got the W on that shitey park. Kettlewell's got them playing all right. So, it's a decent win for us. So, wasn't it a great performance, as I say? I'm worrying about the winger. He doesn't look as if he's up to much at all, but just hope that he's time to bed in, whatever. But Taneki looks brilliant. He looks class. He looks like kind of in the Jota mode, just right in for gone, can go both ways. And put a great ball in. And what a goal it was for Maeda. But all in all, delighted with the 3 points, but no a great performance. But I was happy with. I thought more would have stayed outside. To be honest with you, I thought it'd have been just a smattering of folk, but it seemed there was quite a few folk went in, and that's their right. But I was glad there was no animosity towards them and that because we're kind of all in this together. But vast majority definitely stayed outside, and fair play to everybody that organised it. Then they'd all the banners up, etc. So first in the step for the protest to push forward, and we're all in. But we'll wait and see what comes next. But that's about me.
That's interesting. Man.
See the penalty. Did you think the deflection could have been going towards the net? Or was it going miles right?
Here's the fucking thing about the penalty, right? The penalty decision was a fucking farce, because the penalty rule is a fucking farce. By the rules, that is a penalty. As much as it galls me to say that it is a penalty, like I'm glad we benefited for a fucking change, but it was a fucking penalty. His hands were out from his face. It was like a save. And I've always argued the only requirement for a penalty should be if the person deliberately handles the ball. And for some reason that level of fucking sense is not allowed in football. So with all this other bollocks, that goes along with it. We have had much worse penalties given against us in the last since VAR came in.
Do you think
Do
he
you know what I mean?
deliberately handled it, Martin? But
Not at all. Of course he didn't. He was trying to turn. He was trying to angle his arse away, and naturally, when you're turning your body, you move your arms to give you the 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 ability to
Average.
spin. The
aye,
leverage, that's exactly it, Joe. He was trying to fucking turn his body away when the ball came in. And that, now, say he had a hit the ball directly at him, that may have been more of a penalty. But it come off some cunt foot and bounced up. And like we have seen those given against us, and they're completely ridiculous decisions. But by the letter of the current penalty laws, it's a fucking penalty. You can't argue. And John Beaton didn't argue; he just gave it. And if there's anybody who was more gutted about us getting a fucking penalty on that occasion, it must have been John Beaton. But he knew by the thing it was a handball. The body was away from the hands were away from the body. It blocked the shot that was going goalward. It's a fucking penalty. As ridiculous as the penalty rule is.
aye. One thing I would add that I failed to mention, obviously we get the penalty and your man and he actually dispatches it, right? So fair play to him, but we're an absolute farce when it comes to getting a penalty. Is he deciding who takes it and all that?
Well, here's the thing, Jason, because see on TV, you actually saw Rodgers on the sideline, and it looked like Rodgers was saying to the team, give him the ball. Because if you remember, McGregor looked as if he was ready to take it, and the next thing he handed the ball over, it looked to me like the decision came from Rodgers. He was
But
pointing up, going,
it's fucking
give him the ball.
scandalous that they players don't know before they go in a park who takes a penalty if we get it.
Well, in fairness, he was on the bench.
Aye, but it doesn't matter, Mark. You should know. See when there should be a hierarchy. If Engels is on the park, he takes the penalties. If he
No,
doesn't take, who takes them next?
I'm not arguing that whatsoever. But what I mean is that in a Brendan Rodgers team, Ian Atcher will be taking the penalties. He didn't start, so it was the decision was being made sort of on the hoof. No, because obviously he wasn't fucking expecting us to get a penalty at that stage of the game. Do you know what I mean? But it looked like Rodgers pulled rank because I thought McGregor. It looked as if McGregor was ready to go.
Isn't
That'd
that
been a
also
nightmare if he took it.
isn't that also an element of like, let's give this guy his moment. Let's get somebody fucking G'd up. I mean, let's get
No, Joe.
Fuck that.
Nah.
See the thing about McGregor. McGregor might have had the ball, but I think there was an agreed logic by everybody around me. McGregor was standing over with the ball to keep the goalkeeper where he was, because we've seen in the past where the goalkeeper goes up and he kicks the grun, or he goes up to the penalty taker. By all accounts, Negrin was the kind of.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Negrin. McGregor was going to give it to him.
Yeah, and then it was agreed that Iheanacho had said he wanted to take it, and that was it. I mean, I can't I know Jason goes after he's not about penalties, but I can't disagree. Everything I say tonight, honestly, is going to come through some other podcast, because see, since Kyra, I've just listened to every Celtic podcast going, and so many things have been said that I kind of go, yeah, you're right. And somebody says it today, for us to come out of Aberdeen Cup final losing on penalties, to get into Kyra and lose terribly on penalties, I can't believe I would really hope that we're practicing penalties, and I thought the hierarchy would have been sorted by now, so that there was no shite, no fucking.
It's a disgrace, Scott.
No fucking, what was it, Lynch and Maloney, remember at Hearts all the years ago? Do you know what I mean?
It's a disgrace.
So
for somebody like Brendan Rodgers, it comes across as so meticulous that he's got everything. When it comes down to penalties with us were an absolute disaster. A disaster. See if it gets to the stage like the Partick Thistle that goes to a penalty shootout, I'm walking out. I'm telling you, we're an absolute joke. And Schmeichel will save none of them.
The thing is, I've stopped fucking celebrating. Oh, now people go, yeah, it's when we get a corner. Like, I've stopped that. I stopped that ages ago, and I don't cheer when we get a penalty now. I'm just like, just cheer. But to come back to my thoughts on the protest, I met you. I laughed my balls off when I saw how jolly you were. because last things we were talking about, you were talking about, I'm doing it early, but I'm starting work again the next day, and I'm like, oh, you were full of the joys, mate. It was good to see you. So we were in early enough, just after we were in, and we were floating about down the stair for a good 10, 15 minutes. Place was packed, just as Jason says. Great to see. Saw loads of people I knew and stuff like that. I never bothered even attempting to go up the stair to have a gander. But I just stood at the back, and I was all very comfortable. But when we get in, now the pictures, like Jason says, when we saw the pictures coming home, we kind of guesstimated 65-35. However, I think 70-75 is more on the ball, judging by the fact how busy it looked once everybody get in. I saw people kind of disappointed by how the support never got in and just all kicked off straight away. Fair dues, right? Live and learn. It's a big protest. I was enthused by the buy-in because even a large amount of the people who went in seem to have got valid reasons for going in. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a wee guy I got a ticket for. He's like, I fucking drove 3.5 hours. I don't want to be fucking missing in. I was like, tell me what you want. Called him a scab every fucking second he walked away from me. But no, I didn't see, like Jason, I kept myself away from it. I didn't see anybody abusing anybody. I didn't see anybody abusing anybody else. If you want to get in, you get in, and you want to support. I thought the majority of this away support supported it. That's a good thing. That's a fucking good thing. That's nothing to be snubbed, right? And anybody that says it was a failure, you had the majority of the Celtic supporter in that stadium remaining down the stairs to support our protest. That's fucking good. So fuck up. Those who were in, like I say, there was a whole load of people who says my dad's too old, he can't be stoned about. I saw somebody fucking, 2 people sitting behind me with fucking legs and braces. Fair fucks, know what I mean? Everybody's getting their own reasons. That's today with you. I hope we can fucking engage with you. I hope we can get his own support once we're getting going. But for 4 days after the first meeting to get that for people, well done the organisers, well done everybody. In my opinion, everybody who stood down the stair. In terms of the game, I understand why people are getting frustrated, but we've not played well this season. So to imagine that we were going to turn up and everything was going to be fine, in hindsight, it's a wee bit silly, isn't it? And we've had bother doing in that ground before. I think, I'm trying to think who was it who mentioned it. I think it might have been Axstorm today. It might have been, I'm not sure. But somebody says Brendan Rodgers, in fact, it was Celtic Underground. Brendan Rodgers, in his whole time at Celtic, has overblown AstroTurf or artificial grass. He is, and I believe the way he conducts himself and the way he reacts to it is almost allowing the players to turn up and be shit. Now, I didn't think the surface was a problem at the weekend. Everything the way Jason's described that game, I can't disagree with any. Not one, but I agree with him wholeheartedly. It's so frustrating as a support to watch it. I mean, how big is their fucking strikers? That is they are playing basketball players, man. That guy was the biggest guy in the world. And
couple of canoes up front.
See corners, we've got Hattati Martin. That's
just nature.
Know what I mean? So
if they put a good ball in for any corner against us, you've got to bet them to score.
100%, and that's why the frustration with the goal comes. But we can talk about that in a minute. I don't think they caused us any ball in the first half. Equally so, we never really caused them any problems in the first half. But the goal we scored was outstanding. The ball in was excellent. I can't believe the press are going on about them no getting a fucking shy. Man, God's sake, man. They're clinging on to the end. But anyway, the ball in is outstanding. Really outstanding. and Maeda scoring. And just as Jason said, I didn't ever think Maeda was a guy with down tools. And he was garbage in the game, but then produced that. That was great to see. His reaction was nice. Taneki fucking done the waving at the fans to get going thing. I was near punching him in the face.
You know what, Scott? That reminded me. See, when he did that, right? He did that, and I said he's got a bit about him because he hadn't done that much up to that point. And I'm saying to myself, who is this cunt? but I liked it.
Right,
because
but it's frustrating to watch a team launch the ball as much as they did after that spell, that great spell we had, and every time they launched it aimlessly, and it caused us chaos, man. And it was so frustrating that such a plain Jane. I mean, I'm reading Kilmarnock fans saying we were the better team in the second half. Give me peace, man. Give me peace. Right. We've got to kill teams. I played defence at a very low level of football, and it was the most frustrating thing in the world to watch either your attackers not create or your attackers miss good chances, and then you concede and you get the blame here. Taneki was the guy pulled off of Taneki and scored a great header. His desire to get it was unbelievable. It was a great goal for them, I think. And then they got a corner straight after it. And then we had the one where we slide tackle and we just knocked it by the post. Things were going all in the shop. So to come out of that situation with a win, I'm delighted. Especially we're not playing well. And see, right now, we just need to keep getting going. We need to just keep plugging away until things work. Ballock I'm far from giving up for him. Is again, I'm going to quote another Celtic podcast. Couldn't start his shit. Palmer started like a train on fire. Who ended up the best player? So right, so there's still time. Taneki loved it. See, when I was a young guy, right, I was a defender, and my favourite players were defenders.
Hey up, Johnny lad. Give us a slice of that
Man, I'm going to start calling you Joe. Yeah, this has been too long. What? And I remember my dad saying to me, see, the best players are the ones that get you off your seat. And as an old man myself now, he's on the button. Taneki was fucking magic to watch. It was like watching Jota. It was brilliant. He got the ball and he just drove at him and drove at him and drove at him. It was like Jinky. There you go. There was one for you, Flynn. Like Jinky. They went him and he would just dance through him.
So for people who don't know why Scott's fucking emphasising this, Scott's dad basically stopped watching fucking football when Jinky retired. He's like, that's it. Fuck everything.
No. He basically says, any good player I like, my dad would go, he's shite, he wouldn't get in the lines. And that was basically, and Larson included, McStay, all of them. I mean, he never gave anybody credit. And then, obviously, Marty, the famous quote, what did he say?
See, everything went to shit when they stopped us lighting fires on the terraces. It's hard to argue with a man. Like, God bless Peter McCorry.
In terms of the penalty, my horns are up. I don't know the laws of football anymore, and I don't.
Exactly.
And we got a penalty, and guys who get paid to know what they're doing gave us a penalty. Then I got a penalty. Happy days, and we won. Fuck Kilmarnock. Fuck that Kettlewell. Fuck Oidham. Joe. I mean, we done a 12-minute protest. I was waiting for their fucking protest to finish. That I mean, fucking empty stand United, fucking clowns. So to get the win, I'm delighted. Let's just keep the train rolling. Let's keep the train rolling. Hopefully we change. We'll come to it soon enough about party pitch. We'll just beat them and let's keep it going and then see what we can do during the week. It'll be a tough game. Just keep the train rolling.
Just to go back. So how do you say the new player's name? How do you say the new player's name?
Tunetke.
Well, it was great. So sort of watching, obviously in the house and watching the reaction online, everybody was kind of waiting for him to be shite. and everybody's going, "Oh fuck, this guy's all right," and then everybody was going, "Fuck, this guy's really good." You could just see the fucking reaction building and building as the match went on, you know. So it's great to see a player
The
like
thing
that
is,
come in and
he looks
make
like
such a.
the proper winger who he'll be magic. You're rubbish. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
It's like he'll just
He's the new James Forrest.
that's like
nothing will come after him.
everybody was kind of waiting on him making a mistake, but he just kept getting better, and you were like, "Fuck, this guy's all right." Oh, like fuck, where did he come from? But in his interview afterwards too, he was brilliant, really positive. You know, they were trying to sort of catch him out on the Champions League stuff. And he's going, "Oh, hold on, this is one of the biggest clubs." Once I heard that they wanted me, I wanted to come. It's been going on for too
Yeah,
long. I'm
yeah.
glad I'm here, and that's exactly what any Celtic fan wants to hear. You know, we don't expect him to be Jesus Christ incarnate or Jimmy Johnson, but if he's coming to do a job, he'll do a job. You know, we'll all be pleased to see him.
It. He seems to have kind of see what you're talking about there. He's almost invigorated us as a support, and
Yeah.
I kind of hope he's got that to the squad as well. People kind of go, "Oh yeah," but the fact is, and to look in the negatives though, the midfield.
But
Something they
I
need to
mean,
do something.
we've been saying that for a year,
Yeah, yeah.
more than a year. Like, you know, even when we were doing well in the Champions League, you know, the midfield was kind of still, and at that stage, Aaron Engels was only trying to settle into three. We're kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt for that, you know, but something is wrong. Like, they just, I don't know whether or not Hatate is the same as Maeda, maybe wanted out and hasn't got a move or whatever, but he's just fucking, he's like a man short. You know, you were calling for subs by half time nearly at the weekend there. You're just going, it's not working. Whatever the fuck is wrong here.
See,
We need to start playing the players' strengths.
I'm
And
going to come to, sorry, Jason, can I just jump to you?
go.
Because
On you go.
out of us all, you'd be the biggest Hatate supporter here.
Aye.
And the thing I've, for me, myself, I can't talk about other boys, but me, myself, his inconsistency frustrated the living daylights out of me to the point that I would have sacrificed him for a guy who, I would sacrifice a guy who gives me 8 out of 10 once every month for a guy who gives me 6 and 7 every week. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I felt about it. When it's good, it's great, but stuff like the weekend.
what's annoying is you know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
Fuck
But
it,
I just tried over
you know what he
Jason
can do.
stands with him.
The new he's fell off a cliff, and I can only imagine he's probably in the same boat as Maeda. Probably wants it, and he's been kept longer than.
Definitely, I think so.
I don't think he's got the same work ethic, but he's definitely not got the same work ethic as Maeda. I don't think he'll throw the rattle at the pram, but obviously, you know yourself with fitter players when they're just no right, there's just something no right.
And see on that, Jason, too, Brendan Rodgers was very circumspect about it. Because Rodgers was saying last week at the press conference, look, these players are waiting on their moves. They've been here for years. They're not from here. They're being offered life changing money elsewhere, and we weren't able to let them go because we weren't ready for it. You know, so you can kind of like nobody's fucking slaughtering them for it. You're going, you can understand why. Like even the manager's fucking saying it, and he doesn't want to let him go.
I would like to come back. Maybe the news of time to talk about. I would like to come back and talk about Brendan Rodgers and his future with regards that as well. Because as I said before, me and Joe were talking earlier on about Wayne's football and how your voice can become stale. And I always think that about Brendan Rodgers, especially when Brendan Rodgers, the man manager, I believe his message wouldn't change. So there must be a whole bunch of people who have worked with him for years that they've kind of went, I've heard this. Do you know what I mean? And also, if you're not getting dropped, does the hunger find a fall away as well? Because like we've said it a million times, we get bored of playing the same 4 teams all season. The players must be the exact same. You know what I mean? Attack must be like, right, I've done this. I've won every trophy I can win here. You know what I mean?
And but then that comes down to Rodgers, right? And to your point, so Rodgers is the guy that always says you play in my team in merit, which is bullshit. Callum McGregor gets a game every week, regardless of how he plays. Hatate will start every week. You know, It's bullshit. Carter Vickers, if he's fit, will start every week. Doesn't matter how good he plays. So he's got players that he always plays. Just regard. He won't drop McGregor. He won't say to Callum McGregor, "You're off form now. You're not going to get him." He just won't do it. Yeah. So all that bullshit that I'll pick the team and you'll need to do this to get, it's all fucking bluster. The thing is, people aren't playing in merit now because we've got loads of players that are off form. And the one that's kind of perplexing me a bit is Nygren, right? He started off really well. But to use the phrase, he's like a busy fool now. He's like a headless chicken. He's all over the park, fucking energy, fucking through the fucking roof, but does very little with the ball. And Engels is sitting on that bench and must be saying to himself, and plus Paolo Bernardo, that boy is not getting a chance at Celtic at all. And he showed us when he had a run of games, he can be a quality player and gives you a goal as well. And I'm a great believer that, obviously I don't see them in training every day, right? But if you put the guy in and say, right, you're going to get a run of 5 games here, 5, 6 games, prove to me. See this chucking guys in for 20 minutes expecting them to change the world and that. It's not going to happen. You've got a guy, Luke McCowan. All right, when he starts, sometimes he isn't the best, but he's 110%. Another one that's got a goal threat, and he's getting a couple of minutes here and a couple of minutes there. Yet Callum McGregor and Hatate are playing constantly, and how many goals are they getting as they know? And let's face it, they're midfielders, they should be getting us goals. You look at the past few years with Celtic, where our goals came from. Gone are the days where your Lee Griffiths was getting like 40 on all competitions. We're not getting that. Your maximum for striking, you're getting 20, and you're looking for your wingers to chuck in the goals, and then your midfielders to chuck in the goals. And we don't have a midfielder at the minute that's getting us a load of goals. Maybe Nigel could be the guy, but
I think to follow up your point, just to kind of jump on the back of your point, Matt Riley, again, sounds I'm just stealing points for podcasts here, but Matt Riley was a guy in our team who played beyond, and he got goals and he got lots of assists.
Yep.
And he was a godsend, and that's how we ended up getting the amount of dough. And I think Brendan Rodgers deserves credit for elevating him again after Ange. So you had that, but now we've got Bernardo, who he doesn't seem to fancy, and you've got Hatate, who scores crackers every once in a blue moon.
Yeah, they'll get you 7 or 8.
Even last year, you had Carl McGregor weighing in, so none of them, of McGregor, McCowan, Hatate are scoring goals. Then he's looking at Nygren, and Nygren seems to be the guy who's more likely to score, even though, as we've often said, he doesn't look like he fits into the system we play, but he's more of a goal threat, so he kind of needs to play, almost. That is a definitely question mark on the end of that statement rather than what I'm saying. Because, like you, it's frustrating. I've said this again. I watched Bernardo playing for Portugal under 20s and under 21s, and he looks like a guy who can get us 10, 15 goals.
Without a doubt.
He just looks like it. But as you say, gear him half a game. What did he play against Livingston? Is that correct? And he got whipped off at half time, was it? Remember, made all the changes. It was against Livingston.
Yeah. And see, to be fair, most times when he does start, he doesn't really do much.
No. I know. There might be a bit of blindness on our side for him. He might just not fit in either. But as you say, we've definitely got guys in our team. Do you remember Martin O'Neill used to bust your fucking balls because he never gave anybody a chance? I mean, he just stuck with the same team. And we are almost getting to that point with Rodgers. I do understand why it's happening, but it's frustrating because without a working midfield, we're not going to kick on. So some needs to happen. Some.
And see, to be fair, I think Arnie Engels has got everything. You know, and he's kind of fell off a cliff as well, from Rodgers' point of view. You know, he doesn't even go on at the weekend.
No, I know.
You know, and
Yeah.
you're like, why?
And I feel I'm maybe a wee bit blind with Arnie Engels. I do. I feel maybe. I think Arnie Engels is another one. You should be building a team around Arnie Engels. I really believe that. And but equally so, let's be honest about it. Has he been fucking magic when he's had the jersey? No, he's really no. This season, no, he's definitely not. Definitely not. No.
But again, it's like you need a run of games, and as maybe could he be the guy that the Matt O'Reilly role that plays in front, because he's always kind of playing him like kind of more of a holding midfielder, and McGregor, that's his role, and it's like we've got too many midfielders that just pass the ball about the midfield
Or to the defence.
Oh fucking hell! Don't start with that. Fucking hell! And then we've got a fucking left winger that does that, or a right winger, sorry, that does that and all.
I'm not getting up in the boy yet.
No, neither, man. I'm just, it's an observation how he's played so far, but I see absolutely nothing to get excited about.
I know, mate. I know. It's I remember years ago we said it. Said, right, we're no picking on anybody. If somebody was shit, we're going to call him he played shit. We're no fucking going to talk about not last week or next week. We'll talk about the new. And let's be honest, Balak was pish. And Ibrox, he done nothing. So he's I'm not getting up on him, but he's got some work to be doing.
But there isn't even a smidgen of a guy that might beat somebody.
See the hang is when you look at his stats. I mean, Standard Liège, 32 games, 9 goals. In Antwerp, 145 games, 30 goals. I mean, that's a good return for a winger.
Belgians are very nice.
But you're not saying that isn't as strong a league as ours. Do you know? And he's not playing with the top teams, so he's still getting goals. I mean, the Belgian league's every bit as strong as ours, if no stronger. So he should be able to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just a bit of stage fright, and he's just finding his feet. And
I was going to say, I wouldn't be rating him off just yet, but he's very.
Oh, not at all.
I know.
There's not much to him.
But in contrast to fucking Tenetke, right, who's come in and went, right, I'm taking this opportunity, I don't give a fuck. Right? He's playing with a smile on his face. He was enjoying it. Like,
did you talk about Sriracha? That fucking cross for me.
Big hot sauce. Fucking fair play to him. He was brilliant.
I'm not having it.
Here, it's early days for anybody to be slapped. As you said, how long did it take Nicholas fucking Kuhn to get into the run of things? So
I eat toothache, but
I know. Fuck.
I'm fucking toothache watching Balak with you.
Fucking stupid. No, it's too early to be rating people off. Like, fuck's sake, come on. We've definitely probably seen worse players play for.
I know. But does it? Here's my perception. Right, does it not seem very dull without someone like Tenetke? It seems really fucking dull.
Yeah, but that's what we've been saying for ages, and we've talked about the midfield, about the service that's been given to the rest of the team, and we've talked about the fact we don't have a league for Griffith Striker anymore. And even if we did, he probably wouldn't get the fucking service that he needs to score 40 goals. Do you know what I mean? There's something wrong with the squad. It needs a reset.
See the ratio, a percentage of like 75-25 fans in, fans out. Tenetke was 75% of the fucking entertainment, and the rest of the team was 25.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Do you know what I think we need? I think we need a new manager.
mate, is that the authorization to move on to that? Because
let's go.
No, but before we, son in my head, if we want to kind of get proper old school Marty, you can start doing the tune again. But I put it in your chat, and if anybody's listening, Des Walker was on the overlap, and Des Walker he talks old football, and he talks old football that I like in terms of. See, when you put guys on the pitch, the guys in the pitch have got to have a big set of boys to do things. And and he talked about fullbacks coming in the pitch, right? And then obviously it goes straight to Greg Taylor, but he says he argues with his boy, and his boy's going, but he comes in the pitch and he helps the passing, and he's going, but how's he influencing the game? And he's going, but he's coming in the pitch and passing. He says, aye, but how's he influencing the game? And he's like, how do you mean? And he was like, well, see a fullback that goes down the pitch and fucking whips in 18 crosses and creates one goal. He's influencing the game. He's doing something. See the guy who kind of maybe ends up with the back post when you're thinking he shouldn't be there in my style. He's influencing the game. And he says there's too many people in football now who are happy enough just to do their job without influencing the game. And I always fucking stood up and cheered, and I was like, "You're right. You're absolutely right, man. There needs to be like I see a centre halves kind of getting the ball and passing it him, and then he'll pass it him. And he'll look up and he'll see nothing. He'll pass it him. Fucking try something. Ping it out to a guy wide.
I know, but you talk about like the sterilization of fucking choice.
Yeah. Definitely.
No, but there's the whole thing.
I mean, here's the thing, right? I think that also links in some ways to the Americanization of fucking sport. It's like going baseball, American football. Like there's no chance taken involved. It's all role play. This is what you fucking do. This is how you do it. We call the play, blah blah blah. There's some of that creeping into football. Like this is your job, but it's making things sterile. That's why we have fucking defenders pass the ball to each other, folks.
But it's like
10 minutes of the game. What the fuck's happening?
But the counter argument is, me and Scott used to talk about this fucking years ago, was say a team needed a goal in the last 10 minutes, so they just start pushing it up into the opposition box, and you're going, well, if that tactic works, why weren't you just doing that the whole fucking match? And you made it one. You know what I mean?
Listen, see when I go across the road to watch the Glebe North seniors play, right? There's some good play, right? But a lot of the time the ball's getting hoofed, and you know what it creates? Good drama.
Right, no, see, but you had me thinking there, Matt, right? So I'm standing at the game with Stu, and we're going, and I turn around and I says, why don't we shoot? Why don't this team ever shoot? We get at the edge of the box and we pass it right, and then it comes back, we pass it left. We did a big horseshoe a day, but why don't we shoot? And then Stu says to me, remember that time Carter Vickers just got the ball and just rattled it and we scored? And then he does, and then he has one shot, the goalie makes a crank save, and you're sitting going,
do that often.
Let's see more of that, Cheech. Let's go.
I do understand the guys like Brendan Rodgers. They want to control the game. They want to negate the jeopardy in a game. But if you're 1-0 up or 0-0, the jeopardy's always in the game, because all it's going to take is one slip. Honest to God, we need more Tenekis. I mean, it's funny, but we're talking about, it was like the last day of the windy, and somebody went, we're like with Paddy Roberts, for fuck's sake. And I was like, I'd fucking sell my house for Paddy Roberts.
100%.
Do you know what I would just love? You know what I would honestly, I would love it. I would love to watch a game one day where a team lines up 4-4-2. See, like a manager just says, fuck yous, I'm no buying into this pish. I'm going to play 4-4-2 with two fucking strikers and one playing off the other one.
Jason, I guarantee you'll see that within the next 3 years.
Everything comes.
Why is it taking 3 years? See, we do it now. You're a pioneer. As if it's never been fucking done before.
I know, that's my point. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything comes around again. But the point is, everybody knows that you just counteract the 4-4-2 by going 3 at the back and putting somebody in front of them, and that negates your 2. So it's like, and see what Scott's saying about why don't we shoot? If you watched James Forrest last week, he was coming in off fucking head, and there was like 9 Kilmarnock men in front of him, and I was shoot, but you fucking knew rightly, fuck all was happening. And Kuhn was brilliant at it, because Kuhn would come out, say 7-8 yards away from the fucking edge of the box, and would just have such a lovely foot that he just used to curl it over everybody into the far corner. Like, he did it on a dozen occasions, maybe 12 goals last year were scored that exact same way.
I don't think Kuhn ever had the byline once. Constantly.
Exactly. That was his trick. And our problem was, when Cunts got onto his fucking trick, they used to just take a run at him, and then he hadn't got time to set himself up to do this beautiful art.
Once he was forced outside, he was done.
But Marty,
Yeah.
see, you're on the ball. How many goals did Kuhn score for us last season because he hit a shot and it bounced off a defender and fucking rolled by the goalie? He must have scored, I'd say 5 or 6, just because he got deflections. And
Yeah.
that's because you've just had a fucking shot at goal.
Had a goal.
Yeah, no, listen,
It's
I'm genuinely not arguing with you at all. I agree.
No, I know.
As I say,
I
I'm sitting in the house shouting fucking shit, and there's like 11 men in Kilmarnock jerseys in the Kilmarnock box, you know, and you're just looking at them, anything, do anything. It's like that fucking thing, no, the meme, put the stick, do something. Do something.
It's a pinball machine, but they just fucking hit it and let it bounce off a couple of folk and you might drop to somebody. But see, back to my point, Brendan Rodgers. Do you know, right? Do you think everybody in the league's got wise to him now? They know exactly how we're setting up. And the thing is, we've just got better players that we can win the games. But there's no shock tactics. He plays the same way every week.
Yeah, that's
because his ethos is, if you listen to him speaking, he tells you, our ethos is to dominate the ball, and then, as Scott was saying, eliminate slip-ups, recycle the ball out when something doesn't work and start again. That's the phase of play you're in, blah, blah. And you're quite right. If a Jota's there, or an Alistair Johnson's there, or a player of a better standard, like Kuhn, then it works and everybody goes wild. The crowd goes wild and they go, look at that, there's a modern football. He knows you fucking... But see, when it gets to the fucking stage when Liam Scales is your creative outlet, it's time for a fucking reset. Like, what the fuck? You know, when everybody's looking at Scales to do something, you're like, where the fuck did we get? How did we get here? You know,
has Scales not had pass marks in any game this season?
No, listen,
Scales has been our best player.
Without a doubt, Jason, I agree. He will get player of the year this season the way he's going. But that's not the fucking point. The point is that everyone, the whole back line and part of the midfield, including McGregor, are looking to Scales to do something, like to start a move. And I'm like, and you can see him shading himself. And I pulled I said it last week, I think, on here. Colin McGregor what game was it? A couple of games ago. Might have been the Kyrock game. He had the ball and he had 20 feet of fucking grass in front of him, and he turned and passed it back to Scales. And I nearly lifted my fucking TV off the fucking wall and smashed it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, why would you do this?
It's oversimplistic, and I dare say Jason heard it more than once on the way home. But you had Taneki against Kyra, the good chance you win both games. I watched Sporting Lisbon against them last night in the hope that Sporting Lisbon put 25 past them. And every time they get somebody on the ball, they attack them. They put them under pressure. They got a penalty just for fucking determination, but the wee guy's skill set, and then after that they just plugged away. I mean, it still scunners me to the day we can put. Don't get me wrong, am I glad we're not in the Champions League after watching PSG versus Atalanta? Fuck yes, I'm glad we're not in the Champions League. But to get put out after Kyra, fucking god awful. And then you go and sign a wee guy like Tunetki, and he's exactly what we needed on that night, and we bring him in too late, and then we release fucking accounts and we celebrate fucking spending all the dough.
And then I looks at, and obviously I'm oblivious to the Champions League now because we're no in it. But last season I was looking at the league every fucking 20 minutes, you know, fucking just obsessed with it. And now it's just fucked. And then I looks and I just see Paphos FC are playing in the Champions League. Fucking I didn't even know they'd a football team. Paphos in Cyprus. I take it that's who it is.
I'll be honest. I used to think it was Pathos, and people just used to say Paphos because they were thick. But then it turns out Paphos is what you say. Paphos. But
they've got a fucking team in the Champions League. I didn't even know they had I've been to Cyprus once in my life for 2 or 3 nights it was, and I stayed in Paphos. I didn't even know they'd a football team. And they're playing in the Champions League, and we're fucked out with a fucking band of fucking farmers from fucking Kazakhstan. Honest to God, it's fucking... It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
But anyway, let's stay on course, right? Let's get to... I am... Now,
so nobody answered my question. Do you think we need a new manager?
Well, this is I'm just about to.
Oh, sorry.
That's where we're going. Let me go.
Right.
This is, so I've had this thought as well. Now, a well-run Celtic football club in terms of structure-wise, running down the club. If we are going to continue in the buy low, sell high, we're going to try. Why on earth do we have a manager and pay him the amount of money we do? If we were a proper structured club, we would have up-and-coming managers looking to kick on, but they'd be paid a lower fee. And they'd be honestly, I remember on this podcast, I said, are we at the stage we sell it, we should be renewing our manager or coach every 2 years. So we keep freshness and so we keep going. But we've been doing the spell of, we had Ange, and Ange kind of progressed as a manager. And now, the funny thing about Ange was, we got Ange done brilliant when doing England, and now Ange is out early. Financially, we could never afford Ange. Cunts are talking about him coming in instead of Rodgers at the end of the season. But we can, he's a fucking £6-7 million a year manager now. So you're not getting him. But if we were so we're at this, it's madness that we've got Brendan Rodgers as a manager, paying him the amount of money and the structure we've got where we don't actually support him, and we get to this stage where, I mean, I think it's ludicrous to think that he's going to stay for another year, to be honest. I think the end of this year he'll be done. He's maybe playing to the gallery a wee bit. But in terms of as a manager, is Brendan Rodgers making Celtic better because of his managerial skills? You said it a minute ago, Jason. I don't believe we are. I believe we are beating teams because we've got better players. And Ronnie Dyer done that. It was crap and we would lose games, but that's what's happening now. Do you know what I mean? I think Brendan Rodgers is a good manager. I remember everybody keep calling him elite. I don't think he's elite.
I've mentioned that a few times, but
his hunger has maybe been poked a wee bit, and I would love him to go and prove me wrong. But a top-notch manager who drew 0-0 with Kyrat, and we went over there and we drew 0-0 again, and then went to Ibrox and drew 0-0 again. That doesn't crack to me somebody who's on the ball, personally. My case is closed.
No, there's nothing to disagree with there. And we're actually we've got worse players, right? So we're getting worse. So at the end of the day, that kind of backs your point up. He's not really making a difference. It's the players on the park. And we've got worse players than we had this time last year, so we're a worse fitness team. He's really doing nothing about it. And as I say, every team in Scotland is absolutely wise to us now. We play games at home at Celtic Park now, and they all know how to play against us. And it's turgid watching it. And we don't have the Jota going down one wing, Kuhn going down the other wing, Boz going in, you've got a Kyogo and Maeda to bang it in, or Maeda's going down one wing. We just don't have it now, and it's no good to watch. The football we're watching at Celtic now is pathetic. For the standard of player that we've got and the level of opposition we're playing against, when you look at the actual wages that our players are commanding to the wages that we are playing against and how we're struggling to break the teams down. I mean, that Kilmarnock team, we'll have one player that'll be earning more than their full team. And we're celebrating getting a fucking iffy penalty in the last minute to beat them. And that's what it's came to now. And there's nothing that Brendan Rodgers is doing to actually make us win the games. It's just the players on the park are actually better at football than the players that we're playing against. But we should be beating them by far more. The league's a fucking joke. I mean, the teams, the prove in Europe, it's fucking pathetic. And it's just fucking the realisation now, the fucking backwater that we're playing in. And we've actually, as you say, we're getting a manager millions of pounds a year, and we're no backing him. I mean, the thing is, he done brilliant in Europe last year, and he did do brilliant, and made some amazing nights. And I would have been all in for backing him to go the next stage this year, and we didn't. But even with the players that we had, he should have had enough in the tank to beat that fucking showery shit that knocked us out, and he didn't. And it's just, and the thing is, he's going to leave at the end of the year anyway. So why are we hanging on to him? Because there's a chance.
No, I disagree with that.
Do you know, right? I think if Celtic offered him a new deal now, he'd maybe sign it, right? But it doesn't look like they're going to offer him one. So they're going to look at the contract, and they'll be looking at his wages as well. They'll be saying, well, that's something we could get rid of. The fit was not that great. The fans aren't really too enamored. Don't get me wrong, he's one to watch with the carry on with sack the board, because he's kind of getting off it scot-free when he's a massive part of the problem. And it's linked to the board as well, because obviously he's had a fallout with the board or members of the board, and that's led to unrest. But I said in the close season, I says the biggest issue for us this season is Brendan Rodgers. It's transparency, it's the board. But forget them, they're fucking arseholes anyway. But the issue was Brendan Rodgers coming into his last year of his contract. Things never go well when folk in the last year of their contract. And when we get to this January transfer window, how much are they going to back him? Say we're still in the Europa League, right? And say we've qualified out the group stages and we've got a chance to go kind of deep in the Europa League, which is possible. The way we're playing now, I wouldn't be too confident about it, but it's definitely possible. Do you think they'll back him and he's no signed a new deal? Back him, they say 20 million, getting three good players in? I don't see it at all. Do you?
The way you present it, Jason, there's no way to untangle that mess. Like,
Aye.
Once it gets to that point, it's kind of best to walk away. But that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is we're going to eat stale bread till the end of the season.
Well, that's what I think, Joe.
And that's disappointing because we're being charged more for something that isn't as good as what we've had.
Aye.
I mean, it's kind of like if you went to a restaurant that were serving up shit food, you're like, I was here 2 months ago, it was fucking amazing. You're charging me less. You wouldn't go back.
No, I know. But aye, it's fucking gut wrenching.
It's leaving a hole. It's leaving a hole somewhere in our overall belief, I think. I mean, collectively, we're all kind of trying to address that as well.
And the thing is, we went to Ibrox and look at the fucking state they're in, and we fucking didn't lay a glove on them. Hibs are probably gone there the more favourites to beat them. I mean, I'm fully expecting Hibs to beat them.
100%. That's the bad idea. Aye.
And we went over there and never laid a glove on them. It's fucking awful.
Do you think, though, Rodgers is kind of going it? Let's just paint by numbers here. Just paint by numbers.
They might always does, sets the team up the exact same way, gives them probably the same team talk, and it's just stale. He's the type of guy that only has like a 2-year window, and then folk get wise to him, and just like he's talking away. I mean, if the new guys coming in, he'll have an effect on them, maybe, probably make them better. But the guys that's been there for ages, you're probably listening, I'm like, he's talking a load of shit.
It's like, I suppose it's like most jobs in a leadership role. At some point, people start going, "You're a fucking absolute dickhead."
And see, the thing is, see if you don't reinvent yourself, see if you don't move things. You know, if you keep playing the same formation, he's probably played the same formation the first time he was with us to this time he's with us, and he's no changed a thing. And if you're setting up against a team that plays the exact same way every week, I mean, we're coming up against a team of 11 haddies, and no disrespect to them, but in the grand scheme of football and world football, They're not the best players in the world. They're all decent professionals and far better than any of us, right? So they're obviously there in merit. But compared to the players they're playing against, they shouldn't even be competing. And teams can stifle us because of the way we play.
Yeah.
So, I don't
Marty
know.
boy, you get any input?
Yes, to let Brendan Rodgers go would be an act of stupidity. He's already says he wants to stay. We've done fuck all about helping him stay. Will he get money in the transfer window? Probably, because the board are so fucking embarrassed about their own performance. And what we're going to talk about later is probably going to raise its head even more as we approach that transfer window. We cannot get another manager of the caliber of Brendan Rodgers. It's as simple as that. We all know that. So what the fuck would we be chasing him for when we know we're going to be getting somebody worse? So for me, we should have been back in Brendan Rodgers. We should have given him a golden handshake at the end of last season, extended his deal for 2 years, or put him on a fucking rolling contract or something, which would have taken away all the bullshit. He said himself about April time, don't be asking me what's happening next year. I will be here to the end of my contract. So he went out of his way to draw the sting on the whole thing and to settle everything down. And that should have been the green light for the club to say, right, let's get this deal done in May, so that when the fucking disruption over the cup final happened, either you announce it before the cup final or you announce it after and get it over and done with, and then that stops the chat. So Rodgers has already said last week, I want to stay. I told him face to face I wanted to stay. I've heard fuck all since, and I can't explain it.
Wait, well, one of two things have happened there, no? One is complete incompetence to reassure Brendan Rodgers before the start of this season that things are going to be the way they want them to be and his contract was going to be extended. Or, number two, he's basically being phased out till the end of the season. Unless something drastic happens in January or whatever. I don't fucking know, right?
Like we almost fucking put Bayern Munich out of the
I know, but I'm talking
extended
about
points.
how are the club treating this guy?
Joe, I agree with Marty about Marty's saying. It's absolute fucking gross miscompetence with the board, right? I get that, but the thing is, Marty, that's the situation we're in. Brendan Rodgers as a manager should still be good enough to beat Kyra. I mean, there's
I'm
no
not
excuses
arguing.
there.
I'm not arguing with that, but either I agree with you completely.
Aye.
But life just isn't that fucking simple, and these things happen. And great teams who amass great players, Galacticos, sometimes don't reach their fucking potential with amazing managers under them.
No.
That's life.
We had 180 minutes against a team of farmers.
Listen, I'm not arguing that, and we went out against Art Media Bratislava with players like Chris Sutton and fucking Hodgson and fucking all the rest of them in the team. That's life. Sometimes shit happens. Like I'm sure it's happened to other fucking teams too, who thought that they're, we're going through this easy, and all of a sudden they get their nose bloodied. The Kairat performance, we dissected the whole performance here a few weeks ago over fucking 2 legs. It was atrocious, but that's football. It's fucking football. Do you know what I mean? And if you had other players on the pitch like fucking Jada or whatever, who the fuck knows? It's like if your granny had a set of balls, it'd be your granda.
No,
you know what I mean?
I get that, and I totally blame the board for that, right? But no, totally. Brendan Rodgers is kind of getting off it scot-free because of the board's incompetence.
That's correct, because the fans have turned on the board. Because Rodgers has been saying, you're making me stand still. He has said it. I am not the manager that you want if you just want to stand still. I'm not doing it. You're making me doing it. We haven't talked about the financial results tonight, and there's stuff in there to unpack around this. The size of the wage bill must be fucking frightening these cunts to death. 112 million or whatever it was we were paying out on money on wages, labour costs. It must be fucking chilling these cunts to the bones, and you know that they're looking at that going, we need to get that down. Instead of saying, if we had bought fucking that cunt from Hammerby 3 months ago for exactly the same price we fucking paid for him, we might have had £40 million in the bank. Because he's the type of player that could have turned the tide against Kairat.
Yep.
And that's what Rodgers is going to be saying. I fucking told you months we should be in. Funny enough, Brendan Rodgers actually said what I've been saying on here for years. I don't know why or not just noticed. He said about the when you get players in at this late stage of the fucking thing and then the fuck off on international breaks. I've been saying that for a decade. And Rodgers has obviously been saying the same thing at Celtic behind closed doors. Don't do this. It's bad planning. It's not good. We can't replace in the January window. Look at Kyogo. It's notoriously difficult to get players that you need back in January. We touched completely lucky with Jota. You know, it's bad planning. I am trying to plan. I go on my holidays in May. I leave them with the list. He said all this last week. Who the fuck could argue with any of that? Who could argue? That's how football clubs are supposed to be run. You know Hatate wants out. You know Maeda wants out. You let them go. You cash your chips. You have your fucking ones ready. You know, like the financial results today was the profit of whatever the fuck it was. It doesn't even include selling Kuhn. It doesn't even include the money we got for Frimpong. It doesn't include any of that. And the low fees that we paid out for the likes of Negrin and fucking things. You're here for relative buttons. It's fucking nuts. This is why the fan groups are coming together. Because everybody can see that it's fucking nuts.
Oh no,
And
no,
and
I've got no, I've not
it
got one bit of
permeates
argument with you there.
and it permeates down through the club. It permeates down to the players. Some of whom, like Hatate knows, I can play however the fuck I like, and this cunt's still going to pick me because I'm the best player in this position. I have nobody challenging me from my position. What the fuck do I care? I can play it safe as long as I don't give the ball away. Nobody's really going to attack me. None of the fans are really going to be pissed off. I can pop up once every 6 weeks and score a wonder goal, and everybody's fucking happy. Nobody's shouting
So,
about
so
Hatate.
in that point, you're agreeing with Brendan Rodgers. He's culpable for that.
No, because my point is, if what Brenton Rodgers was saying the other week had it been fucking sorted out, there would be competition in the squad. Players would be fighting for their place. Nobody would be fucking being complacent, and that hasn't happened because these guys have been left at the last minute. But Rodgers was saying, I wanted them in at the start of the summer, having their fucking um pre-season under their belt. Everybody gets to know each other. The wags and girlfriends move in, and you take them shopping in the fucking sunshine and take them to Loch Lomond and blah blah blah. Fuck all of that happened, and now I've been left a holy shit sandwich. When I did all my prep, I had all my scouting done, and I left you with my list, and you fucked them up one by one. You were being laughed at by clubs on the continent who are still telling stories about us, how we behaved over the fucking summer. And the players, the same players I wanted in to help us achieve Champions League football, came in after we were eliminated from Champions League football. Like, it's diabolical. It's diabolical how our club is run. And fuck all's going to change. And we will be, like, God bless the fans group, I wish them all the best. We will be having these same fucking arguments no matter what fucking manager's in the door next year. So you can blame Brendan Rodgers if you like, it's not a problem. And he's big enough to take it, and he's rich. So he doesn't give a fuck. And he will have his pick of jobs when he leaves Celtic. Because everybody can see what's going on. With the laughing stock of football, managers must be looking over Brendan Rodgers and going, imagine working for him, dickheads. So you have two things. You have the fucking chairman who's an accountant, and you have the fucking chief executive who's a lawyer, and everybody in the Celtic support was tearing their fucking hair out about that Saturday night statement 2 weeks ago. And it was written, you could fucking tell it was written by a lawyer. So we all know who wrote the fucking thing.
I thought it was written by Chat GBT, to be honest with you.
No, it was written by a lawyer. You could tell it was written by a fucking lawyer. You could tell by the language and the structure of it. Fuck me. It was like a legal deposition. It was like claiming innocent. It was like the board. Don't worry, lads. If we go to court, I'll get you off. This is proclaiming you innocent. We'll put
But
this before the
there
judge.
was lies in it as well, so it wasn't really a very
It
good
was
lawyer that
fucking
wrote
shit. Here, I never said the lawyer was any good. It could be lying a lot.
it.
For fuck's sake, that's my point.
Marty, it was essentially a lot of saying something, but a whole lot of saying fuck all.
Aye,
It was a
exactly.
whole lot of saying, "Look, lads, listen, leave this shit to us. You're only fucking mugs or whatever the fuck. Right?
That
There's
that
shit.
was
There's
that. I
shit.
was definitely the subtext. Sometimes I was like, "Oh,
There was
listen,
shit going on in the
listen,
background
dickheads,
you didn't know
we're
about, and
smart."
we're never going to tell you about it. So just fuck up and fuck off. That was the whole fucking tone of it. And part of that's right.
Just
There
imagine
is
that
stuff that
sketch.
goes on in the background that we don't know about, that we're not privy to, that impacts on the club. That's fair enough. But just to be like utterly dismissive and just say, no, it is, lads, fuck away off. We're going to be fucking publishing a set of results that you wouldn't believe that the fucking paupers and Abrax would kill for. You know, it's all this fucking vague references to clubs going bust and all that fucking cake. That's like, it's, oh, fuck.
They should have just
Oh,
posted, they should have just posted that sketch. Go away, gears
here's
peace.
money. No, it's, that's exactly, like Jonathan Watson fucking nailed it. Nailed it. It was exactly that. And he, what they should have actually been saying was, listen, this was a tough summer. Things didn't go right, not a problem. And we're going to try and use this as an opportunity to keep the fans a wee bit more involved and, you know, to move ahead a bit more positively. So we'll now review everything that happened over the summer and we'll see if it can work out. We'll go back to engaging with the fans groups. We'll ask for their ideas and we'll see if we can put any of
Go
them into
back to
practice.
engaging. They fucking never started.
No, but they did. They did, Jason, because they did. They met
Engaging.
the
The
fucking.
way he's engaging the fucking phones, apparently.
No,
Man,
listen,
years
no,
ago.
no. You're wrong. That's wrong. They did engage. They met the fucking fan groups the day before they put the fucking statement out.
Oh, that's
The
right. There.
day
Oh,
before
aye,
they
aye,
engaged
aye.
with the
Aye, but
fans groups.
that's the first
So,
time in years.
so if that statement that I just said had it came out on fucking Saturday, none of this would have happened. Not see the none of it would have happened because everybody would have went right. Okay, right. Well, what the fuck? What do you
It
propose?
would have appeared measured in terms of. Here's the thing: it just
Open
seemed
minded,
completely tone deaf.
open doors,
Tone deaf.
totally tone deaf.
Seemed
Fuck.
completely. But here's the thing about being tone deaf: it comes across as arrogant. It's a very thin line, right?
It
You're
was like
tone deaf.
it was like
Arrogance is your fucking cousin.
it
Right?
was like we'll explain everything to you, stupid cunts who don't
Right.
understand. Right?
That was
And
it. Was it?
that was the whole tone. Whereas if they had just said what I said, that's all I had to say. Tough time for everybody. We didn't get everything right. Some circumstances were against us for reasons that we really can't go into, which is fucking fair enough. You can't breach employment law. You can't breach contract law. You don't want to piss a club off on the content that maybe you're going to be dealing with in 3 months when you go back and they try and get their player. People can understand that sort of stuff. So you don't actually need to sit down and do like a fucking Lego statement where you build the statement, you know, to protect yourself against the fucking baying mobs who are attacking your Lego palace, your Celtic Lego fucking ground. Like, that's how they were treating people. And that's why the fans groups and the social media groups and the fucking whatever the fuck groups have went ballistic, and that's why there has had to be a fans collective formed because we're looking at these cunts going, what fucking planet do you live on? Where do you come from? Seriously, we can all fucking see what's happening. We're not thick. What we want is to work out a better way for the future, so that if this happens again, we're in a fucking better position to deal with it because you have sent Brett and Rodgers out to a firing squad every Friday for fucking 2 solid months
He
where
should join
he
himself. He should join himself.
where he's looking and going, what else do you Brenton Rodgers is saying, what else do you want me to tell you? I have been honest. He said the cunt who briefed against him was cowardly. He says that he had his fucking chit sheet fucking bank with the club before he fucked off to Mallorca. He said that the money was coming in was great and had it. Some clubs didn't want to deal with. That's fair enough. He said that there was other players who were infinitely gettable that we didn't get. He didn't go into the fucking reasons why, but we can all have a fucking stab at why. Because we can see how the club's being run. Do you know what I mean? It's just, if there's a wrong way of doing something, we'll find a way of doing it. And it's not really difficult to do it the right way. And the right way was to say to the fans, look, hold on, we understand. Shit happened. It was like Peter Lawwell said for years about that year he didn't stay in St. Stephen Fletcher in January. He been on about it for fucking years. Oh, I was the worst. Hey, like if I had done something differently, if I could go back and change the fucking thing, and they're doing it again. Or James McCarthy, or all these fucking things that the ones that got away, and you're going, but you're doing it again. You're doing it exactly again. And as I say, they're looking at those results that come out today, and they're looking at that wage bill, and they're going, fuck, we need to fucking get that down to fuck. Do you know what I mean? And we're looking at 77 million in the bank, about 30 million to come in from our activity from after June. Do you know what I mean? The fucking stupidity of not bringing in 3, 4, 5 really good players, sweeping back into the Champions League, as Jason said, playing a couple of fucking cunts who looked like they'd come out of the fucking mains that morning to play us, and we couldn't manage to fucking beat them. Like, and you can change the manager. It's not a problem. If you want to have fresh legs, fresh eyes, fresh mind, great. But see, when you have these wank stains in the background who are doing the same thing every year, fuck all will change. Like, Ange Postecoglou came in and was all ham-matey and then fucked off. Great, fair play to him, done his bit. Brendan Rodgers came back to a job he did not need to come back to. Do you know what I mean? And the last year was one of the best years we've ever had. It was fucking fantastic. And he's back now relying on players like James Forrester who by any stretch should be either let go or should be just, brought on for cameo appearances 2 or 3 times a fucking year until his contract runs out. Like, it's nuts. But anyway, I'm way to get an beer.
I don't disagree with anything you said about the board there, Marty, by the way. Just it was the Rodgers thing. I'm no sold on him. I'm just a bit.
But Jason, you were fucking sold on him last Christmas when we had that 6 months. Everybody was sold on him. We were all waxing lyrical about how brilliant the season it was. And he's going to fucking work on the last day of school and saying, right, lads, see when I come back, here's what I want. And they go, no problem, Breton. And as soon as he gets out the door, they fuck it into the bin and go, I can fucking whistle fat. Because that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So see if Brendan Rodgers isn't on top form, who the fuck could blame him? He's looking going, they're doing the same thing they done on me last year. And not only that, some cunt within the club is going to the Sun.
Aye.
The same thing they done on me the fucking last time. Like, what the fuck?
I know. That's fair.
And I'm saying, we'll get another manager.
This is where it becomes kind of dirty war, and it's fucking at this point cut ties. No. I don't know. We never make things better, do we?
What did you say there, Joe? Sorry, I was desperately trying to come off your mute. At
some point, when it becomes that point, like when someone's going to the Sun and there's this going on, is that like, internal war to a certain theoretical degree? It becomes a bit of a dirty war, right? So fucking cut ties. No.
Yeah, but we're not paying him, and he's not going to walk away from nothing. So we're stuck with it. We're stuck with the situation. Ultimately, Marty's right. Jason's right. I think the two of them are kind of. We're stuck with this current situation we're in, board-wise. And I think this is actually a good segue to kind of move on to the next bit. But the fact is, we've got guys who are so arrogant in their belief they know what's best for them and the club that we should all just kind of wind our necks in. But it just makes no sense even going back and getting Brendan Rodgers if you're not going to follow it through. I don't see the point in giving somebody a 3-year contract and then 2 years into it kind of going, well, fuck that.
Aye, and then the thing is, Scott, year 2, take the cup final away for that, but year 2 has probably been our best domestic / European performance in decades.
Mm.
And then year 3, they just say, fuck you.
Like I say, I'm
interested in that. Interesting what Marty says about the wage bill. So it'd be interesting to talk about that.
I don't think it's the fuck you that bothers me. What bothers me is the way they treat your concerns. right? It's almost like a pat in the head, going like, "That's very nice. That's very nice. Fair play to you. You're thinking," and then they fuck off and do whatever they want to do. That's what bothers people. This
Of course.
idea that you're being treated like a fucking absolute
But
imbecile.
everything we're saying, we've been saying for years.
And here's
Everything
the
we're
thing.
saying.
Here's the thing about Kyrat. See if that cunt Maida had a fucking scored that goal when he was 1-on-1 with the keeper, and
It wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be here.
it nearly landed in the Gobi fucking desert. None of us would even be having this fucking conversation.
He's your fullback.
Oh, see if Brendan Rodgers had his team fucking schooled on how to take penalty kicks.
Well, that's a fair,
Through as well.
but that's a fair point. Isn't we've been saying that for fucking donkey's years.
Listen, if your
Do you know what I
granny,
mean?
if your granny had wheels, she'd be a fucking motorbike.
But the point
Fucking
was, Seaman
fuck's sake.
Maida missed that shot. The way he played over those two games, like he was working hard. I'm not saying anything about him, but he was waiting to leave, whether or not we get into the fucking Champions League or not. So that was the type of man.
Again. Cup
That
final
was
as
the
well. Had the
that was
chance
the
again.
type. That was and against Rangers too. Now the Rangers one was a bit longer ago, but he's been waiting to go, and that's the type of mentality that's running through that squad. Now,
See, the
what can
bottom
Brendan
line
Rodgers
isn't
do
that
about it? Brendan Rodgers can drop those players and not play them. Fine, because he knows their heads aren't in it. That then fucks their transfer values, so he can't maximise the money that he's getting for them. Or
But
he
if
can
you've
just
got,
play them anyway.
if you've got one guy in the team that's clean through and a keeper that you don't want there, is Dyson Maeda. I'd have took I'd have took Kasper Schmeichel for him.
But sure, I've been saying that for fucking years, Jason. I've been saying that for years. He doesn't make good decisions. He's a better athlete than he's a footballer. We all appreciate his hard work and hard he works, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't a popular thing to say. But I used to say it. I used to say, listen, this guy, he's not as hot as we think he is. He's great and blah, blah, blah. But, and it's like 3 big games. Cup final, the Huns last year, or Huns earlier this year, sorry. And the Kairat, he did exactly the same thing fucking 3 times. It's hard to believe because you thought he would have learned the first time. But that's not really my point. I'm not having to go at Maida. What I'm saying is that mindset is in that squad. There are players that don't want to be there. Scott was saying about Negron and how he doesn't fit in the squad, but it's fuck all around his attitude. He's working hard and he's trying to create goals and he's our top fucking scorer. And he's geeing up players. He's geeing up the fans. Scott says he wanted to choke him last week. He says, "Should I say that? Can't doing that." But I'm looking at him going, "But at least he's doing fucking something."
Maeda's exactly the same. There's nothing wrong with his attitude. And the thing is,
No,
I love Maeda. And see, last year, money couldn't have bought him. You know what he brought to our team. But when you're fucking solely dependent on him, and it's like when he's your centre forward and he's clean through. I mean, the Bayern Munich as well, the one that he fucking ballooned by as well. He's no the guy to fucking. I mean, he gives you so much in games, but then you need to just take that fucking brain farts for him in the fucking heat.
I know.
It's just, it's brutal.
So look, you can't get rid of Brendan Rodgers. I'm sure there's umpteen amount of managers would take the Celtic job, whether or not they're any use.
The thing is, do you trust that board to get a fucking decent manager if Rodgers leaves?
Do
Do
you?
you?
Fuck.
But what I'm saying is, our football now is turgid. It's terrible.
It's the horseshoe of death. Is that what you called it earlier on? The horseshoe of death.
Wasn't it me?
Was it you? No, somebody mentioned.
So horseshoe of death. It's terrible, man. I mean, but to me, 100% comes down to the centre midfield.
Aye.
100%.
Well, the midfield supplies the fucking front line and fucking protects the back line. If you've got a shite midfield, you're winning fuck all. And our midfield in paper looks good, and we've got fucking multitudes of them. We've got 6 good midfielders, and we can't get a midfield playing football the way they should play. It's not cohesive. It's not cohesive for the fucking team. So, and
there's definitely an element. There's definitely an element of buying the wrong guys for what we're trying to do. We knew. I did feel sorry for Brendan Rodgers because we've just totally stripped the goals for the team.
we've shafted him.
Kyogo coming out of the team, he had 11 goals last season. Adam Ida, 20 goals last season. Kuhn, 25 goals last season. Cal Mack scored, 10? I think Hatate 10. And neither one of them are putting goals up as they did.
Well, the other thing is too, Scott, as well as their goals, Maeda, Kyogo, Kuhn, Ida, they all had assists as well. So they were all creating goals too. So it's not just the goals that they're scoring,
No,
it's
I know,
also the
Mark,
goals
I
that
know,
they're fucking
right?
making.
I know, but
Go on.
the fact is, we've got rid of the main striker we had, right? Rightly or wrongly. I mean, I saw Swansea fans having a go at him, right? Fair dues, right? But you've lost him and you've lost Kuhn. And the irony is Kuhn was half the boil by the time we sold him. So to get the amount of money we did, I suppose is pretty good. It really just does come back to not getting the guys that Brendan Rodgers wants to work with. And you're not getting them in a timely manner at all. That's ultimately the. Well, I mean, I'm not saying anything that you don't know. Like I say, Negrin looks like one of the ones, and for the price we go, I think, yeah, go for it. Go for it. Why not? Because that boy's a talented boy. Like I say, he bugs my tits, but he's definitely a talented guy, and I agree with you. He's trying, but he's trying my patience sometimes. See that pass to McGregor on the edge of his own box? I could have punched his ear in. You know what I mean? Fucking murder Polish. But we watched Brendan Rodgers for 2.5 seasons before. We've watched him. He likes his wingers to play a certain way, and they're vitally important to how his team play. And for us to not give him them is nothing short of fucking a disgrace. And I can understand your point. I can understand Jason's point, because maybe my expectation of Brendan Rodgers is higher than it should be. Maybe he's mortal man, but I just thought I'm at the stage now, guys. I hate philosophies. I hate somebody who can't adapt to fucking make things better. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated with modern football. I'm getting frustrated with modern football as it is. Hence why I was pining back to that Des Walker interview. We played Borussia Dortmund, and I asked the question, why is a guy like Callum McGregor no good in him to go, right, fuck this. Kuhn, come back in here, tuck in here. You fucking come back in here. We're just closing up shop for the next 10. We'll get to half time because this is fucking garbage. I like the way Des Walker says, see everybody on the pitch. They didn't need the manager to fucking sit and tell them where to go every fucking second. And maybe I'm just too old in my head for that. But see right now, shake it up, Brendan. You're good enough. You know you're good enough. Like I say, we're talking about him not having the player. Do you remember when, I think it was only for 2 games, he had Edouard and Dembele after we signed Edouard full, and he played the two of them up front, and by fuck, we looked great. I'm certain Dembele left soon after, but we looked fucking great, and you were kind of going, hey, by the way.
See what you're saying there,
Didn't I
Scott.
play up front against Hamilton away on Edward's debut? No, not wrong.
But Scott, did you not
Edouard
say...
came off the bench, but sorry, Joe, I'm talking about when we signed Edouard full time. He played the two of them up top, and I remember kind of going, it looked magic, and obviously sorry, Marty, yes.
No, what I was going to ask you was, see what you just said there about not needing the direction and stuff. Do you not think that was us last year? I think that was us last year. Like, it was like you had 9 captains on the pitch last year. We were just unbelievable all over the fucking place, and you were looking at players like Engels going, "Oh, fucking, he's going to be next." You know, that's to me how we were October, November last year. We were just everybody.
There is no doubt about it that we're off form. But if we be honest, we've been off form for a good long time. And as a £3 million a year manager, know the fucking guy who should be sorting that, Marty? Or are we totally fucking
But that's his.
all blame him?
Yes, but that's his. See all the arguments that you made 5 minutes ago. They're all Brett Rodgers arguments. You've stripped my team of goals.
Oh, I get it.
You've
I
stripped my
get
team
it.
of assists. I can't play the way I want to play. I asked you to bring in these players to help me do that. Do you know, like even when
So,
we were doing like it was like not a meme, like a graphic done about a month ago of the depth like what the Yanks in the American football call your depth chart, which is like each position and how many players you have for each position. And like you were looking at it going, there's nobody left. What the fuck? He's not going to be able to field a team this year.
I do agree with you. That's why I brought up. But does that mean we've just got to accept it? And Brendan Rodgers go, well, I've got these players that don't fit in my system. Well, how about change the fucking system, Brendan? How about
But
make them
then,
fucking
right,
something that
so
different
That,
system?
that is exactly
And
my point.
Rogers' argument will be these guys can't play these different systems
But,
because
well,
they're not good
Well,
enough.
I'll tell you what.
But is it not
How
worth
do you
is it not worth finding out?
David Martindale in that approach their job every day?
Oh, aye.
You know what I mean?
But here, Jesus,
Matty,
you don't want
can
to make
you?
it down that road. Surely the fuck.
No.
Oh, that's
I'm
no
not.
his point.
Like, but my point is, they come up against us. They come up. So Livingston's playing at home to Falkirk, or Livingston's playing away to Celtic. They'll play two entirely different teams.
Is that not what we done against Atalanta
Well,
last
you've got a
year?
point.
This time,
You've got a point there.
that's what we fucking did. We changed our fucking system because he's good players. But but he's looking and going, these players aren't good enough to do that. Because we don't have the firepower up front anymore that we had last year. And you had the likes of fucking Scales and Carter Vickers holding at the back.
I,
We're on slabbing about
that's
Maida. Carter Vickers' form has been fucking
that's a fair
Yeah,
point,
horrific lately
Marty.
too.
But I know, but we don't even see any kind of effort to
but,
approach
but
an
Marty,
adaptation.
you've mentioned one game where Brendan
No, I
Rodgers
just pulled that out of my hole.
he
I know, I
totally
just pulled that out.
surprised me because I didn't think he had it in him, and he did. Because you look at Borussia Dortmund, we were a fucking shambles. He
Exactly.
played
He
against
changed.
Borussia Dortmund as if we
So
were
the
playing
answer
Livingston
is,
at home.
so right. I'm not trying to be fucking smart, but the answer is yes. He could do that. He could change his fucking system, but
So why does he not do it more often?
because I'm telling you, his argument's going to be these players aren't good enough, and what will happen? He'll change his fucking system, and we'll get
These,
beat, and he'll get fucking slaughtered by us. The fans will turn on him.
these players aren't good enough in Scottish football. You should be able to play fucking 8-2-0 in Scottish
No,
football and still win.
but that's not true, Jason. It's just not like we
Right.
sat here and we watched like Ronnie Dale's teams just go through the motions and play it safe and not debate and just bore us to
He,
death
Ronnie
against
Dyler
teams.
didn't have anywhere near the players that Brendan Rodgers
No,
has got his
I'm not
availability.
arguing. I'm not arguing that he did. You know, he had like players like John Gadari saved his bacon. If Gadari hadn't have been in that first like 3-4 months, Ronnie Taylor would have been our Le Guin. One player pulled him through. It goes to show you that the impact that one single player can have in your entire squad by lifting the standards or just being amazing and everybody loves you, blah blah blah. But my point is he's looking going. Our
Poor Lee
fans,
Griffiths done all right for him.
Right. So here's the thing.
I
Here's
know,
the
but here,
thing.
but take Lee Griffiths again. None of these things happen in isolation. There's always things like Lee Griffiths had issues no football manager would ever deal with, and we all know what I'm talking about. No manager in football would deal with, or maybe
Collapse.
once every 10 years, one manager in football would have to. Lee Griffiths was that guy, and I was actually watching Lee Griffiths goals the other day. Amazing, like what a player, held back by his own demons and whatever else was going on inside his fucking head. That's all the shit that we'd never see, and sometimes it leaks out in wee bits and pieces. But all clubs go through those things. I'm not saying to that extent, but we don't see them. And behind the scenes, all that's being dealt with. And that's the manager's job. That's really what he gets paid for. It's not for putting the players out in the pitch on a fucking Saturday. As Jason said, we should nine games out of 10, we should win no matter what fucking team we field in Scotland. But life's just not that fucking simple. Even at Celtic. You know, and we all know we can all point at players who came in and could not wear the jersey. The club was far too big for them. They hadn't got the mentality to play here and had to be fucking weeded out in some cases, or in other cases, the cost us a fucking fortune, or the cost us massive games. Players who I've said before, players like Magnus Hedman and Nets, just did not have the mentality to play at Celtic. Was overwhelmed by the amount of kit that the fucking club gave him, which was what I was told at the time by somebody inside Celtic Park. When he got the big fucking bundle of fucking track bottoms and the big bundle of fucking things and the extra boots and the extra fucking gloves, he was like, what the fuck? And he couldn't cope with a club our size. And all that stuff goes on behind the scenes. It's not an exact science, you know. And the better managers are the ones who love their players. And we all know those types of managers. The player goes, I'd have fucking stabbed the people to death for that guy.
Aye.
You know, that's what you want. And in fairness to Rodgers, you saw how him and Iheanacho reacted to each other on the training pitch last week. In Iheanacho's first session, and I was going, fuck, that's brilliant. Big hugs, big high fives, and smiles on their faces. They looked as if they were so glad to see each other. You know, and that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping that Iheanacho's going to be our man for the next couple of
I'm
months.
totally hoping you're right, Marty.
That's an interesting thing, Marty, as well. You're saying there because, like, I mean, at the end of the day, does Iheanacho bring a different kind of perspective to other players?
I don't know, Joe.
Rodgers?
That's exactly. We don't know. He's played at a brilliant level of football. You know, it was fucking like Rodgers was laughing when the last penalty he fucking scored for me was at Wembley in the Charity Shield when we knocked out fucking whoever it was, Chelsea or something. Do you know, so you're hoping that he's our Gaddafi for this next couple of months, fucking to keep us going. And we're going to have a rocky time. See over these next couple of months, pardon me, particularly the Europa League matches, they ain't going to be pretty. But especially the way the fans have reacted and the uptake of tickets and that, pardon me, and things like that. We're going to be in for a rough couple of months here, you know, and I'm not sure what way the chips are going to fall on it really. Sure, Scott's fucking sorry he brought me into that conversation there.
Not at all. No. I mean,
No,
I as much as I agree with you, and I everything you said makes sense, and I have definitely had the same conversation where I flipped and flopped on Brendan Rodgers. I still have an expectancy of better, and we've been poor for too long. We've been. I mean, this is literally for Christmas.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we're looking back. No, I completely agree with you. Totally agree with you. But we're looking back now with the benefit of hindsight, knowing Kuhn wanted out, Mayo wanted out, Pate probably wants out. That probably explains why we're stinking. Carter Vickers probably wants out. He's been here for 3-4 years. Whatever, he's been here too. There's other players in that squad maybe who are going, do you know what, I'd like a fucking change. And Rodgers is saying the same thing last week. He was saying these players are being offered life-changing money, change their family circumstances.
No harm, Pabby. You're now just repeating yourself, and we all agreed with you. We all agree with that point wholeheartedly. When you're dealing with that, we and you spoke about it. How for Brendan Rodgers' own sanity, it's probably best that we fucking rotate players quicker than we do. But Celtic are a fucking basket case. We'll come onto that mare.
And I'll be honest with you, but see if Celtic were fucking half decent at board level, and I don't mean fucking top of the tree, I just mean half decent. See all the players that we want to move, Marty, get them moved. And the thing is, get new players in. And I reckon Brendan Rodgers would then be a manager that I would want to be at our club.
That's what he was saying last week. He wanted Maida to go.
But the thing is, I think Brendan Rodgers, when somebody first meets him, it would be brilliant. But I think he's stale because he's got the same players and he's probably been saying very similar things to them for a couple of years.
Again, Jason, we're kind of going in the circles because I think we started off by saying that fucking point.
Right.
And that could
like
be
I say, the hope for us all, boys, the hope for us all, lads, is that he's right what he's saying, that he walks in the door. I would kind of surmise that he would sit them all down and go, right, I know you're all pissed off, I'm pissed off, we all wanted something, I never got it, you never got it, but all we can do now is just go out there and fucking, and we went and we got 3 points. We just need to kick on. But Marty, my final point is, Jason, Joe, you can come in a second. My final point is he needs to now show what he's got. Right? There's no mere fucking greeting is about fucking players who want to go and they're all, this is his team he's got. shows why you're the fucking guy. Show me it. That's what I'm wanting now. Right? We've made loads of excuses. The excuses are all gone now because the windows shut. Go and fucking prove you're the guy. You're
I agree with you, Scott. You can only fuck with your dick you have. Man.
exactly.
Penalties at the moment, by the way, finished 2 each. It's
Oh, is it? Fucking forgot about that match. Is it on Premier Sports?
it's currently 3-2 up to St Mirren
Ah, fuck you,
penalties.
should have
Kilmarnock's
said it.
taking their third now.
And I had that on.
Where do we want to win that one?
UK Sports.
Anyway, right. So, what are we into, Joe?
Money.
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 I'm going to put myself in mute.
Aye, I'll let you, Marty, discuss this one.
Let's get into the intense debate of finance, folks.
I'm going to play online poker for about 5 minutes.
Hold on. Hold on. What fucking channel's that match on? Do I get it on here for that penalty?
I've got it on fucking. I've not got it on. I'm just watching live score. See update.
Oh, right.
It's 4-3 now to St Mirren. Just jumped 2 pence. No, 5-3. I think St Mirren have won. There we go.
By the way, we'd be brilliant in the fucking live games, wouldn't we? Just said, I don't know.
Still only showing 4 goals for St Mirren, 3 for Indy, but it says 5-3 penalties to St
It'd be
Mirren.
like 4 Chris Camaras.
Yeah.
Why did you say that? Who? I'm watching the night game. What
missed
channel's
that one.
on? What channel's on?
My one's lit.
Aye.
I'm behind here.
Fucking ruined it.
My wee lad ruins every game. He goes, 1-0. I'm like, fuck up.
The best one ever, Marty. I know I've said it here before. The time Paddy, we went out to Belfast and watched me and Mick come out. We watched the New Year's Day.
The Beehive.
Young Porrick came in.
Oh, I know.
Aye, you were there as well, Joe.
I was out there. It was good to hear.
So,
face looking at us all.
aye, so but he was sitting next to me, so we're watching the game and it was in a dodgy box. So, what was it? We were getting beat, weren't we?
We got beat. I think Mayes scored the goal, right? But like about 30 seconds before the goal scored, Porrick went, yes. And Mick turned to him and went,
no, he didn't say yes. He was sitting next to me and he went like, ooh, just made some
he did like a wobble.
But then Mick grabbed him and went, we scored. He went, He went,
We had it the opposite, Jason. We were all away for my mate's 40 in Krakow, and we went to watch the game, and some Celtic boozer was cracking, and we were all in there, and everybody's all half canned there. A load of boys had went shooting. Me and another boy had went fucking visiting stadiums, and we're all back in. And we all went shooting guns there, and so we're all back in, everybody's flinging and behaving in the shots, and Celtic are 1-0 up against Kilmarnock, and sure enough, it's a dodgy box. We're all having the greatest time, and Tam just looked up and went, 1 each. Now, I think they scored like the 89th minute or something. And everybody just sat like that, fuck. And then, see for the rest of the night, Tam, you're a prick. And Tam thought,
You're a prick, Tam.
Tam ruined the day.
fucking Tom. Tom Bennett loyal.
there's always a Tom somewhere in there.
Tom
Right,
Bennett loyal.
Marty, you seem to be you know what you're talking about here, right? Educated. What have Celtic done?
Money ways.
Yes.
All right, I'll put on my shareholders hat then, shall I?
Well, you're the man that gets the dividends.
Right, hold on.
It cost him £20 of his fucking dividend.
Right, so fucking hold on a minute here. I'll get it up so we can. I'm not giving you a fucking bum steer. Right, so the revenue was up by 15%. Expenses increased by 11%. So the revenue went up to 143 million, 144 really, and the labour increased to 117 million. And that's my point about where they were shaking themselves, because they're looking at that going, about 5 years ago that was 60 million. So basically our costs have doubled, if you think about it that way, in say since before COVID. So I mean our wage bill was always, we used to make about 80 million and our wage bill would have been bouncing between 40 and 60 million in any year, you know what I mean? But it's up, it's nearly double, right? So they will be fucking shitting the beans about that figure. So the sale on the player registrations, sorry, the gain on sale was 31.5 million. So we made 30 million last year selling players. The year before, it was 6.6 million. So holy fuck, right? So then the acquisition of player registrations, which is banned players. Apparently, we spent 38.6 million last year banned players. So that's Engels, Trusty, Ben Yardo. You know, some of the ones on loan were then converted into contracts. And so they're saying that this is 30 million, nearly 40 million. So that would include Jada in January as well. And the year before, that was 16.6 million. So the profit before, it's rare that they do after tax rate. So the profit before tax, your pre-tax profit was 45.7 million, right? So 46 million in pre-tax profits, which after tax then turns into 34 million, 33.9 million. And in 2024, that was 13 million. So it's gone from 13 million to 34 million. And that's after tax. Your tax has already been fucking taken, right? And the cash at the end, the cash at bank was about the same as last year. It's gone up 100 grand to 77.3 million. So if you're a bean counter or you're no stranger to a fucking Reddy Rackner, you are wanking the balls clean off yourself there at the money in the bank and the profit, right? So we combined, we probably paid more tax than all the SPL clubs put together last year. I would be fairly fucking certain of, including Rangers. Do you know what I mean? There's like £12 million tax or something there being paid. And as I say, revenue has gone up, but so have the costs. And they've gone up in a year. They've gone up from 105 million to 117 million. So about £12 million additional cost in the year. Now everybody goes, well, how does that work, right? So you've extra fucking matches to put on because we're in the Champions League, extra flights, accommodation for flying, player bonuses, all that sort of shit that would all be factored into the jump. Do you know what I mean? In your cost, and then obviously if you're paying more money out per year for players, then all that would be factored in as well. So they're as healthy a set of accounts as we've ever had in our history. You know what I mean? 70, 80 million in the bank and a profit of 30 odd million. Like, and could you imagine sitting in the 90s saying, oh, we're going to have near £100 million in the bank? Now, that, as I say, doesn't include all the players that were, you know, the likes of Kuhn, all the other sales that have happened since June. We're going to get rid of Maeda and players like that for a profit or for, you know, we're only paying buttons for them and we got them. The likes of Kuhn, Hatate, a couple of million each. And they're going to be sold probably in January. So there'll be more money coming on top of this. The kicker will be we're not in the Champions League. So it's an instant dunk next year. We're not going to be making anywhere near that revenue because we won't be getting the broadcasting money and all that sort of shit. And with fans threatening to boycott the European games, there's going to be another fucking hit that's coming. And they know this. So instead of planning for this not to fucking happen, they've allowed it to happen. And they're going to end up reaping the fucking consequences. And they will use that as an excuse and say, oh no, we can't do that because we're going to face this. The fans are boycotting, so we're going to have to hoard the 70 million we have to get us through next year because we're going to be losing money. Our wage bill's through the roof. It's doubled in the last couple of years. You can see all their arguments in front of you. Whereas if had I actually just paid a couple of players in, like fucking the winger who played at the weekend, one man a match, he might have been the difference between 40 million and losing money.
Yeah.
And Jason Higgins told me yesterday that they were looking for £90 a game off him for his seat this year for the European games. I nearly fucking dropped dead when I heard that. I was like, what?
I just got an email. I checked it there. They sent me two the day. I was working long hours a day, so I got checked the email. It says prior to our email there, could you please advise us if you're behind your ticket? So I know 16 folk that got a minibus and they're on Club Celtic. None of them have taken their tickets. They're all just going to go for a
Who
meal.
could fucking
Just watch
who
the
could
game on the
blame them?
telly.
And for kick-offs at like
So me and
6:45
Ellis,
and 8,
we're
and
not,
8,
we're not
8,
taking ours.
who could blame you? Like, if it's Champions League, everybody kind of bites the bullet and goes, I know, but we're in the Champions League, you know, the whatever the fuck else. But, so if you think about it this way, Jason, so 9 4s, you multiply that by the 4 matches, not that long ago, that would have been round about the same price we're paying for a full season ticket for the season.
Well, me and Ellie's tickets for the 4 games is £720. I'm not paying it.
So there you go. So there you go. There you
The
go. Like,
only
that would
Europa
be,
League game, the only Europa League game I'll be going to this season is Bologna away.
Mhm.
That's it. I'm not going to
Do you know
any.
what I mean? So it's just a fustercluck of epic proportions. And I don't know how they can justify it. I genuinely don't. And like someone else said that this would have been the opportunity to kind of soften the blow and reduce the Europa League ticket prices and say maybe like whatever £100 for all the matches or something. That would have boosted the attendance. Then you make more money on your match day income. More people like Scott trying to blast Chad fucking juice. Do you know what I mean? Or buying a pint at Club Celtic. Or buying something out of the fucking superstore. Now, people are doing what you just said, man. You know what it is? I'm going to the bar
Yeah.
and giving my local pub the trade that I would have been giving Celtic. Like, and you could not blame anybody for doing it. Like.
Aye. It
They're
was
taking the
interesting.
fucking piss, in fairness. They're taking the fucking entire piss.
Plus the
That's
season tickets. Plus the season tickets are up by whatever the word is here, 10%. Plus everybody's buying extra strips. There's a strip launch every week. It seems, or something is being
And
launched
by the
every week.
way,
Training
see the
gear.
thing is, see if they'd invested in the team and we get knocked out of the Kyra, I would have bought the tickets. Do you know what
No,
I
I
mean?
know.
See if they had a go at it and then just buy a massive clusterfuck would get knocked out. But see the point that they didn't. That's what's pissed me off. And they can fuck off.
And loads of people are saying the same. Like, I'm seeing stuff being released by the shop, and people are going, "Ain't bad it? Nope,
But,
not
but again,
paying."
people who are traveling as well are having second thoughts, going like, is it worth going over? Is it worth spending all that money to go over and fucking spend like 2-3 days there?
But my point is, Joe, when I'm talking about this, so the evening matches for the Irish fans, right? I have to leave at 9 o'clock. The match only kicks off at fucking 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I can't get home. I have to
Yeah.
leave 9:15 to try and get on the fucking to try and get an 11 o'clock boat. The other thing is too is the matches being moved from Thursday to Sunday. Absolutely kills us. It fucking destroys our income. The match day income goes through the floor when the matches are on a Sunday. Because people can't take their kids, they have to go to fucking school the next day, blah blah blah. It's a total disaster for us. And I cannot fathom why our board cannot fucking see that. In fact, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They make it happen.
That's where the true frustration comes from. It's you're going like, how the fuck do you have the foresight to see the series of consequential actions that will lead to fucking loss
It's
in
disastrous.
in a certain situation? Like you've got to you stand with a sure footing. You have all the power in the world to
I'll
fucking
tell you,
make
Joe.
sure you things can
I'll tell
happen,
you.
but you just don't fucking pull the trigger.
Do you know what they'll do? Do you
What?
want me to preempt next year's accounts? I will preempt the chairman's statement next year. What they will say is, the football wins did not blow in our direction. Thank fuck we sold Nicholas Kuhn. And thank fuck we got money in for Frimpong. Because that has allowed us to counterbalance some of the losses that we made this year because the football department didn't deliver. That's what
Do
they'll
you
say.
know? Do you know what my biggest fear is now? Right, my biggest fear is now that Scottish football will sink further and further, and we will too, into a football backwater whereby things like the Champions League qualification or even any kind of like putting a glove on anybody becomes nigh impossible.
Yeah, it's heading that way.
I know, and that's do you know what? Just at that point, I mean, we've all loved Celtic through the fucking hard times and the shit, but see what it seems like it's a rigged game to a certain level. Does it not fucking drive you a wee bit to the point of going like, What are we in?
Well, UEFA are corrupt as fuck, right? So that's a fact, right? And the cards are stacked against us because it's a no very high quality league, right? But a club of Celtic size, we should still be in there fighting, and we're nowhere near it.
But
And
oh, sorry, Jason, I thought you were finished.
no. And then I'll go back to Lord Hawley's comments about we've been spoiled of recent years. Well, I can't remember many great nights in Europe in my lifetime, never mind recent years. If you're talking about domestic dominance in a league of fucking haddies, aye. But when you actually open your horizons and say where you reckon Celtic should be sitting in a European football, and when you've got mates in England that constantly fucking berate the fucking shitness of our league and you try and defend it, I've actually got to the stage now I'm actually agreeing with them on it. It's a fucking joke. The league we play in is fucking honking. And we've been winning a league of absolute dunkles for long and weary. And that's the only success we've been getting. And we pay good money and we follow the club everywhere. And some folk are happy with domestic success, but football's moved on. It's a kind of global game now. And we're not really part of it. And with the finances that we've got and the fan base that we've got, it's a fucking disgrace. And that's my comment.
I mean, nothing you are saying. I mean, everything, the doom and gloom part is being exacerbated by the fact that we are run by a collection of people who put self limitations within the club. Everybody spoke about it. I've always wanted to understand anything before I criticise it. But the fact is, we have a youth academy that produces very little, and we continue with it, and it never seems to be reviewed. It never seems to be overhauled. It's just there, and it just keeps happening. And so, but we've got a club that doesn't seem to think it's a problem. That's a problem. We are watching clubs like Club Bruges. I know they're the big thing and all that, and they never win the league and blah, blah, blah. But we're watching clubs that are smaller than us or equal size to us being ran in a way to maximise what they can do. We are run by a collection of people who have no interest in that, because what worked for them in terms of putting money on the table and delivering domestic success, see what worked 25 years ago, it's working now. And we're out of date, we're stale, and we've got this pompous attitude that they know better, and we're failing. And see, the thing is, Jason, and I think I'm speaking for you, Joe. I think I'm speaking for you. See if Celtic put measures in that embrace the fans, that embrace the good things that they've got, and a dedicated support is one of them. See if they embraced all that, and due to world football, we couldn't afford anything anymore. We had to shop in a different fucking level, but we were fucking scouting at such a high level that we were still main. And see if we played Europa League football because of the league standing or whatever, we'd all understand and we'd all get it and we'd all agree, but we'd all still love our club because our club are embracing us, our club are treating us right, our club are being ran correctly. But the fact is, we've got shite hawks running us. They don't give a fuck what we say. They get their fucking pals in the media. They get their billionaire pals to come out and talk them up. And they don't care. The fact that things get released today, and Peter Law finished it all by saying, me and my exec team will be leading this club for years to come. I mean, we're shouting we're shouting down a fucking empty alley now.
No.
And for all the people who decided no to go and, I mean, right, we're coming to the board anyway. Since we're on the board, right, I watched Celtic this morning, and Hamish had, I think his name was Paul from Australia, right? He's an excellent, he talks excellently well about Celtic. It's really good. But then he was talking about the protests, and he was kind of going, well, we should be getting this group and we should treat the board with respect, and we should be approaching them in a nice manner and try and get. And I'm sitting going, oh, God bless you, son, but keep up.
Stick to Aussie rules, pal. Stick to Aussie rules.
I don't want to insult the guy because he seems really nice.
No,
And then again, I watch Celtic Underground, and the boy that does the walks again talks beautifully well. Been going to see Celtic a long time. Not going to doubt anything about him, but he starts going, I don't see what the protests are going to do, and I'm kind of going, come on, guys, come on, man, keep up with this. We can't let winning games stop us doing what we're doing.
There we are. That's the cabbage fucking end of it.
Mate,
Scott has just pointed out on Mazzi's that this is the first year since COVID that our merchandise sales have flattened off. Now they're not exactly low. Like it's 30 million,
No.
but it didn't claim from last year. So we've clearly tapped out on the amount of shit we're being asked to buy. You know, and what's this about a new shop? I seen something about a new shop.
New shop in Queen Street, 2 level.
Well, that's the only thing Celtic have done that's actually proactive that I've noticed in the last fucking 20 years. Because it's see when you walk along Argyle Street, Marty, see where the old shop was. Well, the shop that's there now.
Yep, I remember.
Do you know where the Celtic shop is now in Argyle Street?
Yep.
No.
Did he drop off her?
No, I think that was the end of the sentence.
No,
all right. I'm saying, Marty, do you know where the shop is now, the one you walk along to Central Station, right?
Yes, indeed I do, yes.
Right, see if you keep walking there towards Celtic Park, see when you come to the road that you cross, there was a big Next that sat in the corner there.
That's there, the old Next unit.
So that's it. So it's going to be a cracking shop. You know,
that's a big space.
Aye, massive. So that's quality. You know, that's about the first proactive thing Celtic have done in about 20 years.
Aye, but it's done to take more dough in. It's fucking done.
Aye, but it's going to be a quality thing in the city centre.
Aye,
you want it to be
it's kind of a bigger flag. Right?
You know,
and it's closer to the Fenian Quarter.
The thing is that so this week you've seen, like, I don't think it's any surprise that this week the shop was announced and the new video of Barfield came out. Do you know what I mean? Just as everybody's going fucking nuts. It's like, here's where your money's going, lads, calm down. You know, fuck's sake. And don't get me wrong, like, see the things like Barfield, that should have been done eons ago. Do you know what I mean? The club are going, this is amazing, state of the art, and you're going, you should have done this 20 fucking years ago. What the fuck? And you've still got the same fucking numpties coaching our kids that we've all fucking seen for the last 30 years. Do you know what I mean? So what's happening in the building too?
Nothing ever seems proactive.
And we all know your skin flinting of fucking work too. We all know Lowell pulled out the fucking laundry and whatever the fuck else he reduced. You know, and it literally is just like, it's just porta cabins. It's just like, what do you call those modular buildings? Like, it's not fucking. It's not fucking.
There's no state of the art.
There's no fucking. Scott McCorry will tell you this before anybody would. Scott has the expertise in that area. We all know. It's just a building with a big pitch and a fucking blanket over the top of the pitch.
There's a place called the Football Dome up by Santry here in Dublin, right? And it looks very much like that.
Joe, there's one in the Black Road. For fuck's sake, our kids playing one for Ross.
It looks like that
in the Black Road Dome
with some kind of toilets on the side.
For fuck's sake, it's not rocket science. Like, you know what I mean? Jesus, I don't know. You know, we're still operating over two split sites, and there was a big row on the huddle board about it today, saying some people were saying that's not what you do. You want your youth players to play with your first team because they can aspire to be the same as these guys that they're training beside. And other people were saying, no, that's not it at all. There should be a sort of mystique about the first team training, and that you're like elevated like Jesus floating into the sky. When you get into the first team, it's like an amazing day that you've been brought from one training centre to a different one because you're now in the first team. So I have no idea which is true. I don't fucking know, or even if that is a concern for any football club, whether or not they just get on with it, sort of thing, you know. So, but I don't think there's been any coincidence that all this is being leaked out this week. Like,
But I've said countless times on this, right? I'll always go back to Athletic Club, and you look at them. They sell a goalkeeper Kepa to Chelsea for 90 million, and that 90 million goes to upgrade their youth academies, and they bring the best youth coaches in the world to Bilbao, and they build hotel facilities for the kids to stay there. And the thing is, they're all coming from the Basque Country, so they're an hour away. But they built hotel facilities so they don't need to travel back late at night or whatever back to their houses. And they've got a full community there with the best coaches. And just every player that goes into their first team, bar one or two per season, but probably one per season, all comes through their youth academy. And that's a club that's ran to promote everything about their culture and everything about their youth academy. And we're just a fucking shambles.
like we're still putting kids into people's houses, as far as I know.
Oh, but
Do you know what I
can
mean?
we?
We Willie Henry used to fucking put up half a Celtic team. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking Jim Gracie,
Right.
God rest him, lived in Motherwell, used to put up fucking
Can I
Derek
just
Grosley and all that stayed with him.
can I just
Yep.
say that Colby Donovan hasn't got a mention on this podcast at all?
Aye, he played well.
I think Kobe Donovan looks great. God
I
bless him.
mentioned him. I said he sounds like a doctor in America.
He does. He does.
He sounds like one of John Little's kids.
He says like he's a doctor at ER.
Sounds
Colby
like,
Donovan, MD.
Dr. Donovan.
sounds like Quincy adopted him years ago.
It sounds like a character at a V.
Too far, Marty. Too far. You can't eat top.
That's one for the young team.
I've not done this for the young team, man. We don't want the young team. Fuck the young team.
Well, there you know. TikTok bastards.
Well, they won't hear this. Who gives a fuck?
Make them hear it.
So, Scott,
Yes.
time for you to step up to the plate here. You're now, I wouldn't say you're one of the main things in the cog, but you're part of the revolution at Celtic to remove the board. So would you like to tell us a wee bit about what's happening? Are you allowed to talk about it?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I can tell you, right? So, as you spoke, I have been. I am currently on the steering group of the now newly named Celtic Fans Collective, CFC. Let me easy one for you. And the group have released, what would you call it? A statement, an email out to everybody who'd signed, to all the signatories for the previous week, all the groups, all the sports club, the association and stuff. So they've released that and it's on, so you can read it. It's on all the groups and stuff like that. Anyway, so I've been put on it, and I'm proud to be on it. I was at the first meeting we had on Monday. Obviously, I can't get into much detail in what we spoke about, but all very positive once again, all very respectful. Some really, really intelligent folk on that, to the point that we're talking about stuff and I didn't know what it was. But no. It was very good, right? And the great thing about it is there's a whole wide range of expertise, and people are. And another thing that I thought, they were all confident in themselves that their effort will at least attempt to make a difference. There didn't seem to be anybody in that steering group who was just sitting there having a wee jolly. Maybe myself, but I'm kind of waiting for. So what's going to happen now is we're going to break into subgroups, and each group's going to have their expertise, and I'm kind of waiting to see what group's going to kind of need me in. I dare say there'll be people looking, Danny Alan McCoy, who are these people? We just want to know their names. It'll be kind of coming out. You'll meet people and they'll talk about people and stuff like that. But there's been a certain amount of agreement, and it was, like I say, very encouraging. There's a lot of heart, there's a lot of passion in it, which is a starting point. So there's 3 body for the fan media. I haven't had the chance to speak to them. So at our meeting, and it was already spoken about today, Jim Orr stood in for Paul John Dykes. Is it John? Paul John, aye. So Axom have kind of got somebody else, and I believe there's another one, and we're kind of going to have a group to see what role we can take. And once we are in these working groups, then there's going to be kind of within the working groups, they're going to basically stick their arms out, and if somebody's got ideas and somebody wants to put input, they're welcome to do it. They might not be on the group, but they're welcome to come and help. That nobody's help is ever going to be rejected. So I hope people don't get caught up in the whole who's on the steering group, because early days, and I dare say people will come and go because situations in life. You've got to remember that every man and woman sitting in that meeting have all got jobs, they've all got lives, they've all got wives or husbands and kids. So there needs to be a wee bit of respect on those people. A, putting themselves up for it. B, offering their expertise. And C, offering them their time. So there's got to be a wee bit of respect and a wee bit of appreciation for that. It's very early days. There is something planned for Sunday that will be released in due course. It's not my place to say it. I hope us as the Homeboys as a group can all help. I dare say there'll be a time where you guys' expertise will be used to me, and I can bring that to the group. And I would hope that every steering group could do that. Every working group could do that. Touch into. But the big thing, it's going to be hard, guys. There's no doubt about it. And the great thing is, everybody's sitting there realise that. There's nobody sitting there kind of going, if they don't get out in the next couple of weeks, I'm off. You know what I mean? Everybody's kind of, right, this is what I think we should do. And we're coming at it from different angles, which is excellent. Really good. Do you know what I mean? I hope I'm not, I don't want to say too much. Right? You understand, right? Because, like I say, I don't want to say too much. I hope we can play a massive part in it. I hope we can play a small part in it. I hope we can play a part in it. And I hope we get some results from it. But it won't be done through lack of effort. Another thing I would open up to our supporters, to anybody that even listens to us, this isn't going to be cheap. So we kind of need support. That'll be put in plan as well, donations and kind of fundraising stuff. So that's going to be coming as well. But I mean, I've literally just saw the price of some of the stuff that the Green Brigade have done in the past. Fair fucks today, boys, by the abs, because that's a labour of love. You know what I mean? What they boys do with the tifos and stuff like that. So turn your camera off, Jabo. So like I say, I don't really want to get into the minutiae of it, because, as I say, if you go in your
I like that. Come on there, Scotty boy.
I don't want to release anything anyway. So there's stuff out there that we can all read. There's a starting point there. I'm encouraged by it. I'm encouraged by it, to be honest. I hope everybody sticks with it. All I'm kind of doing right now is just a rallying cry for us all to keep with it. Celtic, Touchwood are going to get better, but we can't let this go for the reasons that we've all spoke about in this podcast. I mean, a wee task was put down to somebody. I think I might take up with regards season tickets and see what your season tickets worth. Joe's talked about it. I mean, Joe, just to bring you back in, we've got a £77 million back club now, and they've fucked up your tickets. You know what I mean?
They haven't fucked it up. It's just I just don't really understand the fucking online system because it's so antiquated and fucking old and fucking shit that like it's 2025, man. Get a fucking get a good online ticketing system that works. It baffles my mind. Like I used to have an account, right, where I could control 2 tickets, and then they had this new digital thing come up, and then I went in and I chose the 2 reference codes, and I just clicked on one, assuming that they would both be on the same account. But the one I went to had no tickets, so I had to go back and then put my other account, and that other account had 1 ticket, and I was like, I don't fucking understand what's happening here. But Liam, being Liam, understands what's happened, and I just don't understand what's going on, right? But that shouldn't be the case. Like I know, but like one's a kid's ticket, one's an adult ticket, and I used to have both of them on the same account, and I'm going like, how the fuck could I have 2 accounts on 1 email address? It doesn't work that way. Your system doesn't work that way. I'm going like, what in the fuck is happening? And you know what? At the end of the day, they don't give a fuck. I mean, there has to be a better system. There has to be
exactly. I'm just kind of pinpointing things. I mean, like I say, they've eventually got the. But let's be bloody honest with it, right? We know season tickets pumping dough into Celtic, and none of us get any discount after the end of the show. I mean, how garbage is that? You would think that's an easy shoot in one. No, I mean that's if you buy a season ticket, you get 2%, 2% off of something. No, I mean, but it's all just it's all about making this amount of money and keeping the shareholders. Marty, you kind of corrected me. I said we're beholden to the shareholders, and I do understand that. But are we seriously that far down the line that your customer base just get treated with total?
Oh, you're a customer. Listen, we had a mutual friend who worked for Celtic 20 years ago, right? And Celtic at that time were trying to bring in the loyalty cards. Like, just sat down and told me this. This is you remember this? This is the plan. Yep. We're going to bring in loyalty cards for all fans. When you buy your season ticket, you get your card, you go in the next, you buy clothes, comes off it, blah blah blah. They had all this done, and people like I don't really want to fucking say who did what, but people fucking went nuts and went, "You're not doing that. Fuck yous. We want our wee cozy thing kept. This is the club overreaching and putting its nose in where it doesn't belong." So they were going to do deals with hotels. You went in the Glasgow on a Friday night, you got your hotel deal. All that was done, and it was torpedoed. And it wasn't torpedoed by people inside the club. It was torpedoed by people outside the club. And at the time, I was fucking fuming. I was going, I can see the value in this. That's mental. What the fuck? And it was all fucked out. And that was 20 years ago. That was in 85, or sorry, 2005, 6, 7. That was happening. And the person who was doing that just went, no, it is. I'm away. Bye. And it never was raised again. So it's not to say it can't be raised again, because it fucking can. And we can do it again. But whether or not it will happen, I don't know.
It's unlikely. It's unlikely. I firmly to kind of remain off topic.
So see what we were talking about the other week, Scott, about the hotel and all that would have been built in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got X amount off the hotel. Have you fucking done this? Or you got fucking focus points for fucking that or the other thing? Have you bought a strip? All that would have been done 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago. Only some people were just small minded and could not fucking grapple with it. And like you said, I correct. Yeah, I didn't one bit correct. You knew. how it works. Like the PLC is there to serve the shareholders. That's their only role. They're like, it's as blatant as that. It's by law. They are there to satisfy the shareholders and nobody else. They're the custodians of the shareholders' money. We are all customers and we get customer service. Shite or good or great or brilliant, we are customers are there to be served. So Joe can't get his fucking ticket sorted, go to your customer services fucking desk. Scott's fucking machine that hasn't worked in 3 years, go to your customer services desk. Fucking soggy pizzas, go to your customer services desk. It's nothing to do with us. We're here to look after the shareholders.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a fans liaison officer, liaise with the fans liaison officer.
Thing is, I spoke to him years ago and I said, so I know Borussia Dortmund had, at one point they had 6. I believe Feyenoord were in the double figures of fans liaison officers.
Almost 2 or 3.
And we've got 1 because we need to have 1.
Exactly. It's a box. The box is ticked. We have a fans liaison officer. As decent a man as any fans liaison officer could be, but he's just there because we have to have him there.
But
If that was,
what a fucking spotlight to put on one person.
and God bless him. You know what I mean?
Oh,
John
he's
Paul
a
Taylor
legend.
is as
He
decent
doesn't
as
hide for
anybody.
it.
What's
Oh.
that?
He doesn't hide for it. That's
I know,
he's
but
a
it is an insurmountable task.
No, it's a fucking joke, Joe. It's just a fucking totally indicative of how we are run. And like we said last week, Celtic have, like, some clubs have 100. I said it last week, 100. The clubs our size have 100 people working in their digital and their comms departments. We've got 7 or 8. You know, you have your digital officer and you've got Ian Jameson doing the press and you've got fucking Jerry Thunderbird doing the fucking TV. You've got a cameraman and you've got maybe
then you
3 or
get
4
Rimmer.
punks who are knocking out the match day
Jerry
TV on the Celtic
Thunderbird,
website.
Jerry Thunderbird and Rimmer.
You get Rimmer,
I mean,
Matty.
fuck me. Like, we
Rimmer's
have like a
fucking...
handful of people doing, and that's why I'm very loath. I heard another podcast criticising some of the staff at Celtic there during the week. I'm actually quite loath to do that because they are really, really under resourced. And you look at the amount of content and stuff they put out, they work their fucking balls off, and they're traveling all over Europe with the team. You know what I mean? It's not a good life. It's a tough life. You know, they're not on the wage. They're not on the wages that the football players are fucking on. I can assure you.
We've dealt with the Celtic media department many times when we were doing the fan media stuff, like when we were doing like the kind of Freddie press conferences when we had like Liam Scales and made stuff with the hands and stuff like that. Cut. Great people.
No, we said
good
it.
people, hard-working people, fantastic people.
We said it the other week. They were more than decent to us. As I say, I heard somebody's another podcast who was very critical of the staff, and I was just going, "That's wrong. That's just not right." Our staff are good people. In the main, they're knocking their balls in. They're really under resourced. The board, like Brian Wilson. What the fuck would Brian Wilson know about TikTok?
Non-executive directors, what the fuck are any of them
Yes,
doing?
Brian, we're setting up a TikTok site. Is that tic-tac-toe? Is that game you play? What sort of site's that? What the fuck? Do you understand? Like
You're on about a stick and a fucking.
You know what I mean? Our staff have good ideas. They have great plans. They want to do things, and they just do not have the resources to do them.
Here's the
And everybody
exam
goes,
question.
fucking Celtic doing everything
Here's
half-darsed. And you're going,
exam
it is, but
question.
it's not the staff's fault. It's not the staff's fault.
Marty, the
Because
exam question.
they want to be delivering a top-class service. Most of them are Celtic men or
Can
women.
you hear me?
I can't hear you. Marty just blanked.
Marty just...
What's that?
No. What I'm saying is, see, Brian Wilson, the exam question is, what does Brian
Can you hear me? I don't know what the fuck if you can hear me or not.
Hi, can you hear us?
I can hear everything.
But look, anyway, you've heard what I fucking said. I mean,
he can't hear us.
No, that dropped off, so it didn't he.
Marty's with Elvis.
Right.
Can you hear me now, Margaret?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Marty, can you hear us?
Right, Joe, what's next on the fucking Lee Hist? Because I'm down.
This is going to be fun.
Do you hear me, Marty?
No, I keep telling you I can't fucking hear you. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Marty? No.
I don't think he can hear you.
No. This is going to be good.
Right, people, go for it.
Well, the exam question is, see a guy like Brian Wilson, and there's other non-exec directors I couldn't name, but what value does that guy bring to Celtic Football Club?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. You can't hear me.
Right, Marty.
I can hear you laughing.
Marty, Marty's gone now. He's gone off.
Who?
Can you hear me now, Marty?
I'm still here.
Aye. Can you hear me now?
I don't know.
You still can't hear me.
Right, Marty, it would appear,
Marty,
that you can hear me and Scott, but not Jason.
I can't hear fucking Jason. Jason's talking there.
Well,
all right. So I said to you about 10 times while you were on your rant, a couple of things and you just blanked me.
Sorry, Jason. No, I did not hear you speaking.
I know, I knew you didn't. I knew you didn't.
I can hear you now. I can hear you perfectly now.
Aye, right, we're all good now. So the exam question is, Brian Wilson, non-exec director, what value does he bring to Celtic Football Club?
Absolutely nothing.
Name me one thing.
Nothing. No, he made it done when he was appointed. You know, he was a politician and he may have had contacts maybe we were using for something. I have no idea. But whatever the fuck it is, it's long gone. Long gone.
Aye. And seemingly, he's a non-exec director with many companies, not just Celtic. So he must be raking the dough in for doing jack shit.
And that's been a bone. That's been a bone of contention, Jason, because the executive pay has. So where we're talking about fucking the expenses of the club going through the roof, they've all fucking sorted themselves out over the same period of time. So Lawwell's wages have gone from like 40 grand to 140, and Wilson's has gone like from whatever 20 grand to 70. So they're getting paid for fucking what?
For nothing.
Do you know what I mean? They don't have day-to-day rules in the fucking club. So what the fuck? And it used to be Brian Quinn. Whenever he was there, he had his own car. He had like a Bentley. They used to pick him up. So I don't know why the fuck I've got rid of that, or whether that's still going. Do you know what I mean? It's just fucking nuts.
But the thing is, what I would hope, what Scott's involved in, and will all be involved in, the CFC, we need these guys to be accountable, to tell the fans what they're actually delivering to the club for taking their wage at the club.
What do you bring to the table? Because the fucking thing is, Jason, see, when, as Scott said, the fans are doing this. The fans are bringing everybody together and go, what do? You do design? Great. What do? Do you do fucking finance? Great. What do? So the fans are doing this.
Aye.
So what the fuck different? How the fuck are the board getting away with?
And we've got an ivory tower sitting up there that answers to nobody.
Yep, 100%. Definitely. Really is.
So we need to bring everything out in the open. We need to get a club that's transparent. And obviously there's certain things you can't speak, right? Understand that, right? It's a business that you're running. You can't actually put everything out in the open. But they've got KPIs. Everybody has got a KPI to deliver that year. We need to find out what they are and what they're measured against.
Yep.
And if they're delivering against that. And see those KPIs, they might be a load of shite. It might just be the profit margin, regardless of whether it's success in the football part or you've sold a couple of assets. You know, they might get paid. So basically, we might not qualify for the Champions League, but you sell 3 players for 25 million quid. So your bonus goes through the roof.
Yep.
But on the park, the team's fucking scandalous. So we need to get transparency. We need things out in the open. Or if things aren't going to get out in the open, and I get, as I said before, there's certain things you can't discuss in the open, right? It's a football club. You're not going to give everything to everybody. Mm-hmm. But your KPIs, the way people are managed, you've got shareholders there. People should be fully aware of what they guys are getting measured against. And if they're delivering against the measurements or if they're not. And see if they're failing against the measurements, then I'm not saying they get sacked, but the bottom line is most of them should be sacked. It's a fucking disgrace. They're doing nothing. We know that. But once you hopefully get a proper board in place where they're getting measured against the correct measures, things that actually matter to the fans, not just a balance sheet, things that actually matter to the people that are paying and your customers that are actually paying to keep your club afloat, then it becomes easier. Because if they don't deliver against
here's the thing, Jason. You said earlier on that your fucking family were basically giving up like a massive fucking chunk of your family income is getting into this club, and you are a customer, right? And we're looking at Joe, and we're looking at the level of customer service that he's getting, and you're going, if this was a business, a proper business, every comp would have been sacked. Because the shareholders would have been going, what the fuck's going on? Why isn't this customer getting the customer service he's supposed to be getting here? What the fuck? Like it's just it's mental. It's fucking nuts when you think about it. And we just keep handing over money. It's like, geez, peace, geez your money. Fucking fuck
Leave us
off.
alone.
Leave us alone. You know what I mean? You're like,
Go
what the
away.
how has this fucking come to be? Do you know what I mean? And Lawwell's before Lawwell left, his wages had went from 300,000 to 1.2 million. He's doing the same job. The club hadn't got any bigger. In fact, Scottish football had got fucking smaller. And yet his wages were more than trebled in like a period of a decade. You're going, how the fuck's that possible? And that comes down to bad corporate governance. And that comes down to non-executive directors not doing their jobs. Because that's where the non-executive directors come in.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are non-executive. And they say, if I have to go to court, I cannot stand over that decision. Don't fucking do it.
Oh, but it's probably a police lineup of yes men.
That's exactly what it is.
What it is.
100%. 100%. And it's not like this is the problem. Every cunt will go this year raging to the AGM. Right? This will be the biggest AGM in the history of fucking AGMs, right? The world and her husband will be at this fucking AGM. And everybody will vote the way we're supposed to vote. We'll fucking vote them all out. And then the club will publish the results the next day. And it will be King fucking Jong Un levels of fucking voting. Whatever you call that mad rocket cunt. It'll be rocket man levels of voting the next day. 99% of people want fucking Brian Wilson back in. And
Do you know
somebody,
what a guy said to me years ago about North Korea, right? This is a really interesting fucking analogy that I'm going to make here now, right? Is that like, see in North Korea, right? See the actual ruling emperor isn't the actual guy that's alive, it's his father still, right? So it's actually the world's only necrocracy, right? So the dead person is still a ruler, right? Celtics, like, I'm a fucking Peter Lowell. We're a fucking necrocracy. That's what we are. The guy that was fucking pasted out is now back ruling the fucking roost. He's still in charge, even though he's not fucking really in charge. It made me think there a minute, going like, that's actually fucking probably true.
And see the thing that pisses me off as well. Jeanette corrected somebody. It was, I can't remember what PLZ or something, whatever she was on, some show. And they keep mentioning about Dermot Desmond as the majority shareholder, and that's the narrative that everybody says, and he's not.
no,
He's
he only
the
owns
fucking
30.
principal. He's a principal shareholder.
Yeah, he owns
35% or some
Yep.
30 odd
Yeah.
percent. So how the fuck does he have total immunity with every fucking decision he makes that nobody can question it?
It's
He's
easy.
He's got the biggest balls at the table, probably.
No,
the
it's
biggest
not.
financial balls, no?
It's because the other shareholders are his mates. So they've brought in.
That's kind of the same thing. He's the biggest financial balls at the table.
But if you the key sharehold fucking the key what the fuck do you call that thing when they give out shares? What do you call it? When they get to do a share offering, right? So the last one was in 2005. which was what paid for Lennoxtown, right? And Desmond underwrote that, right, and said if we need 10 million, say if we don't get 10 million, I'll underrate it, which basically means if we only raise 5 million, I'll fucking earn 5 million on top of it, and everybody's happy. Everybody goes, yeah, that's sound. So what he done was he went round all his mates. He went round Eddie Jordan and the Bono and fucking all them cunts and says, give us £1 million. What for? Throw it into Celtic here, we're flying, we're going to build this thing. And they went, that's only £1 million, fuck it. So he has all those 20 people who fucked in £1 million worth of shares, whatever it was. They're all his mates. So they know nothing about Celtic apart from turning up all the time for a match, or a cunt like Bono has never been in Celtic Park since he played it in the fucking 80s. Do you know what I mean? And they're going, we don't know anything about this thing, but with like Dermot, he's the man, and every year I get a check with my dividend. And that's all they care about. And when push comes to shove, Dermot can go to him and say, give us your votes. And he can outvote people. So that's how it works. So he's the principal shareholder, but he levers in all these other shareholders that ensure that there's enough leverage on the board to do whatever he wants.
So tell me something, Mark. You see the dividend, right? I know you get a dividend every year, right?
Yep.
So how much did you put in at the start?
So here's the difference, Jason. There's two types of shares.
Aye.
So not everybody. So it's like 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, right? And fucking not all animals are equal. So if you own ordinary shares in Celtic, you get fuck all. You don't get a dividend. I have preference shares, which are slightly more expensive, but you get a dividend, right? So and my dividend's £70. I tell everybody every year I got to check off Celtic every August. I got to do it a week. It goes straight back into the fucking Celtic superstore. I use it to buy my fucking kids' kit.
How much did you put down to start with?
My initial thing, I bought £1,000 in shares.
Right. So
And
how many?
So hold on. That gives me 2,020 shares. That's what I bought. I bought my shares at the time when the fucking shares were almost worthless. They were worth 39 pence a share, and now they're worth £2. So I
Right.
bought them at the best, the worst time for Celtic, but the best time for a shareholder. And it was nothing to do. It just so happened I came into a fucking few quid, and somebody says to
Aye.
me, "You know what to do? Go and buy a fucking couple of pounds in Celtic. So you love Celtic, but you know what? That's a good idea." And it was just serendipitous that I had the money at that time. I had a
Aye.
fucking few extra quid.
So
So
my point is, you put £1,000 in, right?
yes,
How many 70 quids have you had?
I've had. So that was 2012. So
2012, right?
I've got my money back.
You've got no, you couldn't have. For
Aye, well it
2012,
is. Aye, so it's
no,
13 years, £70 a year. So
no.
it's more or less, it is. So it's more than 10 years. 10 years is 70.
Aye, 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 aye. You're
700.
near enough, near enough.
So roughly, I've got my money back basically.
So your Bonos and all your guys, they've all got their money back. They've all got their
Long, a
money back.
long time ago. A long
Aye,
time ago. Plus, they would have got discounted rates. So when you're doing a share issue, that was the word I was looking for. When you're doing a share issue, so look at the Huns done. Look at like that's everybody was laughing at them because they were printing confetti. Everybody knew that the things the share issues that the Rangers were issuing were fucking worthless. If you were Joe Blogs off the street, you were getting like a C level share, and their fucking mates were getting A level shares. So they were getting shares where they were getting a dividend and they were getting fucking preferential rates. Then there was a B share for like Glasgow businessmen, tanning shop owners. You know what I mean? Your man Paul Hugh, your man that boxer and all the criminals were all getting this middle tier share because they didn't fucking understand shares. Then you had your ordinary fucking, but they had a couple of quid. Then you had your ordinary decent orc who had no fucking comprehension of any of this and thought, I'm saving my club. And he was banging his fucking shares in. So you had 3 tiers of shares, A, B, C. A was getting a dividend, B was sort of getting looked after, they probably getting free drink, and C was getting fuck all, which was your ordinary toothless fucking Hun. Big house must stay open Hun. So it's not, all the shares aren't equal. So my mate fucking, I stuck it up last year. my fucking share check, thanks to Pete and the lads, waiting people up. And my mate messaged me and went, fucking here, my kid's 12. My mate bought the child a share when the fucking thing, when my child was born. What's it worth? And I went, 90p. And he went, what? Fucking what? And I went, 90p. One share is worth 90p. How the fuck can it be worth 90p? And I went, because there's the share price. It was whatever, no, £1.80. It's worth £1.80. And he could not fathom. He thought that this one share that his mate bought him loads of years ago was worth thousands. And I'm going, it's worth £1.
He thought
He says, your
he bought crypto.
Bitcoin.
He says, your mate who bought it's a skinflint cunt, because when he bought it, I was showing him the graph. I was going, he bought it for like 30p. It's now worth £1.80. He says, what the fuck? The miserable cunt spent 30p in your jail. You thought he was great? My jail owns Celtic. Do you know who it was? Joe?
Who was it?
Joe, do you know who it was?
Who?
Arlie. You'll see him tomorrow.
Oh!
It was fucking Arlie. And I'm going, Arlie, mate, I was like 30p worth of shares and that's worth £2. You wouldn't buy you a fucking bar of chocolate in the carry.
Is this your see the Mora? Is this your ex school night out, school reunion? Is Mason Boyne gone?
Jason, this is going to be fucking insane. He's going.
He's going. Fucking hell.
Gonna be degenerate Sando.
I swear to fuck. Yeah, I've never seen a bigger rapper base that's going to be in one room in my whole life. It's fucking. It's going to be carnage.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. So see by 10 o'clock. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's going to be wild. Absolutely fucking WILD. Wild. So for those who don't know, me and Joe went to the School of Hard Knocks in Belfast. We're out of it 30 years. So about 40 of us are getting together tomorrow. Half the cunts can't go because they're dead. See them, like
one of them only died last week.
One of them was buried today. One of them was buried today, and on his fucking coffin. I'll send you the photo in the group chat. There's a big pint of Guinness sitting on top of his coffin.
Fucking rest a piece of tea. Big Mark of D. One of the funniest cunts in the world.
Mark McGee, you know, and I always remember Mark because he was fucking had the same name as Mark McGee, who played for Celtic. Dingus. So big Annie.
Can you elaborate on Mason Boyne? Or just keep that.
I'm not talking about that here. Who the fuck knows?
So is the kindly veil of silence being brought down over it?
You know what? Cover your work, brother. Cover your work. That's a good time to wrap us up. The fuck.
I think you're right. Fuck me. So for anybody who hasn't worked it out, one of the mad cunts we used to go to school with is now Freemason. And we're all blown away by it, but we're not here to talk about it.
Let's not say more than that.
Hold on there, roll up this fucking treasure lake here.
If you meet me in public, ask me, I'll tell you. I'll show you.
Go see if I get the drink in the me tomorrow. There's not a
that's what I'm worried about, Marty, is you're gonna fucking do
it. He'll be left without a name.
That's me. I'll be dipping the door then.
Jason, I'll be 6 Guinness in and I'll be rolling up my treasure leg and pulling the nipple out. Like there's not a chance I'm letting that one go. Not a fucking nation I'm letting that one fucking
I shouldn't have said a word now. I'm gonna have to join the missus to come my own back.
You'll be getting disappeared. Be the guys wait shut.
Just well telling the listeners the story. Come on.
No, that's all it is. That's all it is.
That's pretty much all it is.
There's no need to go into any fucking great detail. One of the cunts was in the Masons. We're like, why the fuck? And what I said was, it shows the state of the Masons that they let that fucking absolute fucking galoot of the highest order.
My favourite word.
Jason, it's the greatest word that Jason Higgins ever invented. And see, for this cunt, it is an absolute match. He's a fucking galoot of the highest order. So we'll have some fucking
He made a fatal mistake, Sharon.
We'll have a fucking few tales to tell on next week's pod. I'm going to show you, man. Jesus fuck.
Man.
Can I just before we go? Can I just tell you something? Just one that's sitting in there. She can't get me. But just to tell you that I've grown up and I'm now a responsible adult.
Fuck. Since when? Since Kilmarnock?
No. I had a ticket for the Merseyside derby tomorrow in the Everton end. And game kicks off at 12:30, and I tell the guy I can't make it because
No way. Why?
I've got a big month ahead with the
I know
25th
you have.
anniversary in Donegal and stuff like that.
Yes.
So the pennies were a bit. I could
No,
have.
listen here. Fuck. Jason, see this last 2-3 years. See when it came to September, I had actually got no money left. I was completely fucking skint. And see, this year, I couldn't do it. So see, everything that was coming up over the summer, I kept knocking it back. I was going, I can't. I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. No. Like, the American football was on and the college football was on Dublin. I was like, nope. Absolutely fucking not. So you're right, fair fuck, City. I feel your pain.
Aye, I'm fucking raging, but had a ticket as well.
There's the thing, though. Speaking of bad luck,
It's not the ticket. It's the £200 you spend in fucking drink.
Aye.
I know, but listen, recently,
Hospitality costs.
I came into August going like, this isn't going bad, and then you know what happened in 2 weeks? Oven,
Joe,
hob, dishwasher,
Joe,
microwave and
that's
shower,
what-
all fucking bounced.
Joe,
I was like,
that's
yo.
what happened to me this last couple of years. The start of August, I thought I was fucking loaded. By the middle of September, I had no money. I was like, where the fuck am I going to go? I was loaded.
Anyway,
Fuck that.
tomorrow's happening. Tomorrow, the wait for it. Anybody's around the wait for it, call in, see the CBS Maniacs. Our WhatsApp group is called Human Zoo Crew. So that's what our school
The
was.
human zoo. Listen,
Where he's mean? Where's the pub?
The wait
in
for
the
it.
wait for it, the shade for it. But listen to me, it's not that. Listen, we need a bail fund. So if you could just send homeboys@gmail.com or whatever the fuck Carter's thing was, get the fucking PayPal on the go. We need a bail fund for Sunday.
We've still got money in the fund for.
You might need to pay my fucking kids' college fees. Fuck's sake, away. This is going to go tomorrow. You might not see me for a while. Fuck.
Good crack. Folks, that was good fun. Scott, you still there?
Still here.
By the way,
Are you enlightened?
before we go, what I reckon is, if everybody was all right with it, I was just thinking this off the top of my head, Scott. I know you're in the CFC now, and they're going to need some funds, and I reckon the Homeboys should do a wee donation towards it.
I had that thought, mate. We'll see what the script is and stuff. But I think that would be a great idea.
Play it by ear. Happy days.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
folks.
yeah.
I'm a big supporter of charity and
This
Charity, mate.
This finish off with that, we just done a wee peel. Like we've sat, anybody who's sat and listened to this, you're off your fucking head. But ultimately, I think you boys have nailed on the head. What a shower of rats who are still running our club. They don't give a fuck about you, don't give a fuck about me, they don't give a fuck about anybody, they don't give a fuck about our Waynes growing up. They don't care if our Waynes grow up, Tim's. We're the bastions of this fucking club, and we've kind of got a wee fight in our hands. And I reckon Celtic will turn it around and we'll come good. But this is a chance to keep on. Everybody's got to keep on. We can't forget. We can't. I believe them and Charles think we've been through this. They'll all forget. After we win a couple of games, we can't let them off it this year. We just can't. We've got to keep. And everybody who listens to us and everybody agrees, you've got to help us. You've got to kind of tell people. You've got to remind it. You know what I mean? Don't let them fucking. This club could be the greatest again, man, and we're just fucking pissing up against the wall. But fuck Kenny Miller.
And by the way, we've been wandering into fucking oblivion for years, Scott. Let's face it. As I said, I'm 53-year-old. I've been going to watch Celtic since I was 4-year-old. I've been going to every game since I was 10-year-old. I've never seen European success. Never. The closest I got was under Matt O'Neill in 2003, and I've never been anywhere near it since then. Last year, we had a wee glimpse of what was possible, and they just fucking pissed it down the river. And it's fucking, it's just shite. I mean, these folk, Willie Hockey, come on saying we've been spoiled by success, domestic success against fucking Haddies. Get the fuck.
Yeah.
You look at how good our league is, how they actually perform against European opposition. Every other fucking team bar us and that lot, and to be fair to that lot, they're a lot better than us in Europe nowadays. And every other team in Scotland just capitulates at the first fucking hurdle. Guaranteed Aberdeen won't get out of group in the Conference League. No chance. We might. They might.
Aberdeen haven't fucking scored a goal
Exactly.
in
Fucking
any match.
the football in Scotland is in the fucking dark ages. And it's just a fucking absolute cesspit. And the thing is, we are winning these leagues, and these cunts are actually telling us you should be fucking proud of it. You look at it on a European stage, never mind the world stage, it's fucking abominable. Get them to
Really,
fuck. A lot of them. Rat
Yeah.
bastards.
100%.
Scott McCorry endorses this message.
That is the best way
And-
to end this.
I'm Marty Flynn, and I endorse that message.
Folks, that was good fun, boys. We're just about fucking.
I'm leaving this podcast fucking raging.
We've been on
Right,
we've been on a journey.
I'll see you at Thistle on Sunday, Scott.
Yep, you will, mate.
Folks, that was good fun. I think we exercised some demons there. That was good.
No,
Hail.
I've still got plenty to go.
We'll talk to you next week. Or whenever we're back. It's a ramshackle fucking operation, as you all know. So fucking it'll be what it be. Hail.
Hail, hail.
God bless.
God bless everybody.
Sweet.
Fuck that.